Hello, everyone. Welcome back to That's Never Happened Before. Thank you for your patience. We were just getting the next game all set up, which is very exciting. We have some Twilight Princess, we are once again joined by the awesome Pope Squidward, is our very special guest for the day. So we'll be doing a Twilight Princess any percent run, and this is going to be an awesome opportunity, again, to see the differences between just how broken Majora's Mask is versus the different kind of how broken Twilight Princess is. That's going to be really exciting. Just as a reminder, again, with AGDQ 2021 online being all done, we raised over $2.77 million. Incredible. And all of your subs, Prime subs, gift subs, everything like that, and your bits are still going toward the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So all of GDQ's portions of subs and everything like that will be going toward that for the rest of the month. So don't forget about that. Our next episode of GDQ Hotfix Show will be Tuesday, is the time capsule starting at a new time slot, which is 7 p.m. Eastern, just like this show. So, are you ready to get into some Twilight Princess?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Awesome. Okay, I can't wait to see it. This is going to be an amazing run. Here, let's switch on over, and we'll get ready to do a countdown.
Sounds good.
You want to take it this time, or you want me to do it?
Go ahead. Yeah, just give me 1 second. I'll set the file up here.
Sure.
I'm actually going to be using multiple files for this run for this glitch that I'll be showing you here coming up.
Awesome. Okay.
All right, so
Zelda runs are so chill. Wait.
I know, I love it. All right, I'm ready whenever you are.
Alrighty. Okay, we are going to get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. I am so excited to play this. This game is it was so fun to learn. Like, it's probably my favorite speedrun right now. Yeah, this game is definitely way less busted than Majora's Mask. We're going to be playing through a lot of this game to be able to get to the end of it here, which is, and for some quality content here.
It's funny you say that, but it's still, like, you're still only going to be needing, 3 hours to beat this game.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty cool to still be able to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the good thing about this game is you can actually skip cutscenes. Like, a lot of cutscenes you can just skip over. And so pretty much the first thing I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to clip through the gates. We named her Gertrude the Gate. Perfect. So I just use a rock here to be able to jump inside of it, and then the recoil from the rock pushes me to the other side. So now I'm in a place where I wouldn't normally be, pretty much.
Right. I feel like there's a lot of collision-based.
Yeah,
like,
this game is more of a, not as much, there's no SRM in this game. It's more of a movement slash, it's mostly a movement skill-based speedrun, which I think is interesting compared to the MM. So the very first thing we're doing here is I'm going to do a glitch called Back in Time. And what this is I'm going to be, if you guys didn't know, to reset the game, you can actually press X, B, and start on the GameCube controller to go back to the start menu. And the reason why that's important is because I'm going to be doing this trick here where I press those buttons on the same frame that I'm voiding out. And what that's going to do is it's going to put the title screen link in my control. So you'll see here when I do this. I actually have to unplug my controller for this. So I'm going to press the map button and A at the same time to buffer it. So we'll see if this works here, but I'm going to press B, X, and start at the same time here and void out. And there you go. So now we have all of Link's, his sword, shield. So that's how you get the sword and shield early here. And the way to get out of this glitch state is you just jump down in the void. And there you go. So now we can start the run. I've got my sword and shield. Save the game and reset.
And we're out of the woods.
Yeah. Well, we're actually going to be set inside of the Farron Woods here. Like, it's going to put us in the Farron Woods.
Okay, we can sit back. Okay.
So yeah, that's to skip all of the town, like the Ordon Village stuff. So now we start here, and we have our stuff ready to go.
No need to sneak around a village and collect things when you can just
exactly
have it. That's awesome. So what was the intent with unplugging your controller?
So that's actually a frame perfect trick. So you don't have to unplug your controller, but by unplugging it, it just ensures that you're pressing the buttons that you're supposed to be pressing on the right frame. Because when you plug it back in, if you're already holding the buttons down, then you're good.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so that's why I do that. So I'm gonna grab our lantern here and make our way through our tunnel. So yeah, this is honestly a lot of gameplay from the start comparing to Majora's Mask. Like you actually have to do tricks the first 30 seconds in, which is cool.
Well, I think it's actually a really cool contrast to see that Majora's Mask, you have to sit through cutscenes to get to the gameplay.
Yeah.
And this, you're like, let's skip the cutscenes and do the gameplay.
I cannot tell you how thankful I am that you can skip the cutscenes, because this would be such a long intro if you had to watch the cutscenes like MM. Because there's still a lot of cutscenes. They're just like programmed to be skippable, which is cool.
Yeah, there's just like more in this game in that aspect to begin with.
Exactly.
So in this game, it looks like you're just doing forward rolls. Do you not have like the benefit of doing back walking anymore?
Right, exactly. So it's much faster to roll forward, because if I were to walk backward, for some reason, it's just the way that Link is programmed here. It's much slower movement-wise compared to rolling here. And this is actually the fastest form of the rolling here is it's frame perfect rolls. So if you can press the A button, there's actually on the practice ROM, there's a checker that'll tell you if you're pressing the button at the right time to be able to go fast.
You can do like accuracy practice.
Right, exactly.
Cool. Okay.
All right, so we're just gonna make our way over here and rescue the monkey and the kid that got captured from the beginning that you didn't see because we skipped all that.
Oh, right.
That's another thing. If you haven't played this game before, it's going to be really hard to follow along with the story, with what's going on. Because you skip all the cutscenes, you know? So,
yeah, but you still have to do like the objectives for the cutscenes in some places.
Exactly, yeah. So we're going to take these two guys out here, do 1, 2, and then do a nice spin attack, and there you go.
All right.
Okay. So then some cutscenes are going to be not skippable, like this one. I can't skip it, so you have to make your way through the text here. And then it's going to bring us back into to do the goats here. We're going to start wrangling in some goats.
The most complicated part of the game.
Yeah. So there is a goat named Howard that always gets away when you're doing this. And the reason he's named Howard is I think it's sometimes Midna will pop up if you're slow on this, and we'll say it'll just sound like she's saying Howard. So we basically just named the goat Howard.
Nice.
And Howard is we're gonna see if we get a Howard here, but we're gonna be.
There's like a little bit of RNG that goes into this, right?
Oh, there's a Howard. Great.
There.
Yeah, so depending on like exactly how the goats spawn in the map, that goes into the bit of a randomness factor here. This actually is looking pretty good right now. Wow.
That's really nice.
This is oh, did we get the it's just above 30. Nice. So there you go. We had like a half Howard there, I'd say. That wasn't normally Howard is all the way on the other side of the map when he runs away, and it's just so tedious. And then the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to get the iron boots. The iron boots are important for obvious reasons when we go and fight bosses and do certain things in this run.
It's supposed to happen way later, right?
Yes, so this is supposed to happen after you beat the first dungeon. But the reason why is when I talk to Bo here, because I'm in this glitched state from the back in time on the bridge that I did, he's gonna have like weird text boxes that pop up. So he just says completely irrelevant things here.
Is this maybe all of the dialogue he's supposed to have between the beginning of the game and now?
That's exactly what it is. Yep. Oh. So I'm basically cycling in through that dialogue right now.
Okay.
And then eventually I'm going to get to a point where he's going to be like, oh, let's go down into my little dojo thing here and do a little bit of sumo wrestling. So we're going to...
So this is usually... Is this before the second main dungeon? Or the...
Correct, yes. This is before the Goron Mines.
That's when you're
normally after the Forest Temple, but before the Goron Mines. So right here...
Lets you in there.
Right here, you just press the A and B button. This is complete luck of what he's going to do. So I'm going to press the A and B button and see what happens. Oh, wow. That was really fast. Nice.
That was so lucky. That was great.
That was lucky. We'll see what happens second time, though.
Pure skill.
All right. Round 2. He's a little more feisty here. We'll see what happens.
But you do the same thing.
Yeah, just literally just press the A and B button. That's my favorite, when you slap each other at the same time. Oh, come on. It's pretty hard to like lose this as long as you're pressing the buttons, but yeah, he's being bit of a problem here. Dodge my slap. I'm gonna hit the A button more, see if that works. There we go.
Nice.
I find that like pressing the B button here is like it's harder to get a slap in than it is just doing the grab with A.
Yeah.
Wow, he is being difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
If this were to happen in a run, oh, there you go.
You reset.
Perfect. Yeah, this would totally be a reset at this point for me.
But it's okay. We're slowing it down.
Oh yeah.
He knows that.
I prefer this style for sure. This is great. So we got our iron boots and we are good to go here. So this is a bit of a complex thing here where I'm going to be saving onto file 2. And the reason I'm doing that is because if I have a save file in this exact location, I'm going to be able to alter properties of the Forest Temple when we get there. And you'll see what happens. I'll explain it when I get there. So I saved on file 2. And now we're just going to make our way over here. And the hardest trick in this entire run is coming up. It's called Sword and Shield Skip.
Okay.
And I'll explain that further when we get to that.
Sounds like you had already done it since you already have them. So I'm curious to see what this means.
Right. So the sword and shield I have right now are basically like a fake sword and shield that the game applies to you on the title screen.
But they function the same way.
The sword and shield skip is there's a part of the game where you have to go back in and like sneak around and get the shield and the sword in the town. It's basically skipping all that with the wolf. And the way that that's done is we're going to jump over a Midna text trigger. So she usually is like if you run up to the Twilight, she's going to be like, well, you need to turn around and go get the sword and shield. But we can actually manipulate this Bokoblin called Hugo. I'm not sure why his name is Hugo, but we're going to manipulate him in a certain way to where we're going to be able to jump over that trigger.
Gotcha. I like all the names for these enemies.
I know, I love it. I love it. There's another one. There's like they named like the spider in Forest Temple too. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it's funny. So now we're wolf, and we are gonna make our way through the sewers here.
Let me know when you have time for a
yeah, absolutely.
Question
I'm good. This is just kind of self-explanatory here.
Sure. Okay, so I'm curious about your progression learning this, because this is a more recent game that you've been learning. So I'm sure that there are a couple things that maybe you're still learning how to do, but when it comes to like the difference between your progression learning Majora's Mask and this, like what do you think has been some of the biggest differences, or like things that you've struggled with or anything like that?
Well, the biggest difference just right off the bat is the frame rate. This is 30 frames a second, MM is 32, or not 32, 20. So when you do frame perfect tricks in this game, they're much harder to time because of the frame rate. So there's a couple tricks in this run. There's one that's a frame perfect trick that will lose about a minute if I fail it, which is it's not like the end of the world, but I would like to nail that one. And there's like even down to the roll timing to be fast. I mean, it doesn't lose a lot of time if you miss the frame perfect roll timing, but it helps quite a bit if you nail it. So that for sure right off the bat. And I, to be honest, find this game to be harder in general than Majora's Mask, solely because of that and just the amount of stuff that you have to do in the any percent category. I mean, the world record for this is just under 3 hours. Like that is very long for a Zelda any percent speedrun.
Gotcha. How
so right here, I just did a Midna text skip where I jumped into both of those sets of rocks, so she didn't call me a dunce or whatever when I jumped down.
Right, because usually you're supposed to fall.
Right.
She's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, exactly.
And then teaches you how to do her jump.
Right. I think Midna's the best companion in any of these games. She's definitely my favorite.
She's great, and I like her fire hair.
Yeah.
And then
sounds like someone else I know.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. So let's see. This is still just normal progression up, right?
Correct. Yeah. So I'm just making my way up through here. We are going to go.
Zelda's room, right?
We're just going to get Zelda right now, basically.
Yeah.
And she's going to send us back into the regular, non-Twilight area. And that's when we're doing Sword and Shield skip. It might take me a couple tries to get it because it's widely considered to be the hardest trick in this whole run. So we'll see if we nail it first try here. But
yeah,
I'll explain what I'm doing slowly when we get to that part too. It's lots and lots of steps to be able to get it right.
Yep. And again, like it's actually cool that this is so fresh for you because it's you know you're gonna be like, well, this is my setup because this is what I'm like.
Yeah.
Like, things that
I thoroughly enjoy this game. It is so fun to play.
That's great.
It's so refreshing, So we're gonna go into Zelda here. Skip the cutscene, thankfully.
You've gotten the companion waifu wars started in chat right now.
Oh man. As long as chat is not picking the Skyward Sword companion, I'm fine with their decisions.
I'm not gonna. We just won't talk about it then. I definitely didn't see any of that. So what did you do? Is there a real quick explanation of how you got to skip that Zelda cutscene?
You can just mash the start button. A lot of those cutscenes, you just have the option to mash the start button and skip it. It's like programmed into the game.
It's like an actually skippable one. Okay.
Right. Cool. So this is going to be Sword and Shield skip. So the reason why it's called Sword and Shield skip is because we're skipping having to go back into town to get the Ordon shield, the wood shield, and the real Ordon sword. So this is Hugo. He is going to be helping us out here. So we're going to lead this dummy over here to the other side. And we have to get him in a very, very specific spot in order to jump over this text trigger that we have here. So I'll actually run in to the text trigger here, actually, when I get him over here closer. So I'm going to get ahead of him here. So if you run too close here, you're going to hit the text trigger like this. And she's like, like, go back and get the stuff, whatever. But on the other side, there is a spot where you can actually enter the Twilight if you get this guy to follow you and do a specific jump here. So we'll see if we can nail that. I actually use Sense here to look at my Q on the ground.
Oh, okay, because you can see it better.
It's much easier to see.
So how are you setting this up?
So I'm going to push him into a correct spot here.
Okay, you're just holding a trigger and pushing him back.
Right, I'm just pushing him back to where I want him to go. First try, let's go. Perfect.
Whoa!
So we made it over.
You did like a targeted attack, and it caused you to jump forward, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So I push him into the spot, and then I am able to do what's called a long jump attack, which is actually going to be applicable. It's called LJA for short, but it's applicable for the boomerang when we get that too. And that LJA, basically what you're doing is you're doing your first attack on him, and as he's like in the peak of his bouncing off the ground or off of Link, whatever, you just press A again, when you're in the specific spot, and you'll jump all the way over that trigger to be able to get to the other side. I'm shocked that I got that first try. I'm not gonna lie. That is a very hard trick.
You're good at games. Let's go. You pro Zelda runner. That's why you're on the show. It seems like the actual button setup, you know, that whole, I don't know. It just sounds like it seems relatively simple. Like it's not like
it looks simple from the outside, but how precise it is like I can't show a diagram of it, but it's kind of like in an oval shape to where you need to get past part of that oval to get to that trigger, and it extends very, very far out.
Well, I feel like the button setup is easier and the timing is
right. It's more of just, it's not really the button like complexity of that. It's more of just timing and positioning sort of thing.
Right. Yeah. Just for those who are like, hey, I want to try this out. Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
So we're actually going to be able to skip all of the Twilight bugs here. We're just going to run right past all this and do another skip here called Early Master Sword. So this is going to be another enemy manip here, where we're going to take one of these shadow beasts up here, and we're going to jump up on a ledge that we're not supposed to be at. This is another hard trick that I might have to take a couple tries to do. We'll see.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah, as we get into like the setup for this, yeah, just for those who are like, what's happening? So you're in like this Twilight part of the game, and you're supposed to help get these little spirit, what are they called?
So it's just the Twilight parasite bugs or whatever. But we're actually going to skip that. The reason why we're over here in the first place is because we're going to get Master Sword as early as possible. And the reason why that's important is because you can transform early. Like the ability to transform to human early on and wolf is so important for this game for certain tricks and setups and all that. So we're going to do that.
Then it doesn't matter if you're in Twilight or not.
Right, like I'm just running through the Twilight because I have to get to this specific part here. So I'm going to focus here for 1 second. I'm going to take this guy into a really... So this guy I'm going to take into a very specific spot on the wall. Wait for him to attack. First try, nice. So I'm going to just explain what I did there because I thought that I would take a lot longer to do this.
It like froze for me for half a second and it
so basically what you do here is you take this furthest shadow beast, you bring him into a spot on the wall. There's like a root there that I look at. And he does two kinds of attacks. There's one where his arm is like directly over his head and one where it's to the side. And the side one is what you want because it takes longer for him to attack. And the way that Link works is Link will attack where his hand is. So if his hand is up in the air with the long attack, you can anticipate that and he'll jump up onto this ledge.
That's awesome because you're right in the right spot where when you jump toward that hand that reaches up, you're up here.
Exactly. Awesome. So I'm going to go to a specific spot here. We're going to run through here, jump down, and now we're all the way over here and into the Lost Woods to get our Master Sword.
Woods. There you go. Yeah, usually you have to like help restore the Twilight area back into like non-Twilight.
Correct. Yeah. Like this Master Sword portion is after the first 3 dungeons. Typically, you're supposed to be here.
So you're not doing any of the dungeons, right? The first 3.
You'll see here coming up. We actually skipped the second one. The second one and the Temple of Time, which is the 6th dungeon, we're gonna completely skip. But we're gonna be doing portions of every other dungeon in this run.
Okay.
So that includes Forest Temple, Lakebed Temple, Arbiter's Grounds, Snowpeak, and City in the Sky.
What's your favorite temple?
Wow, I don't know where that rupee came from. Okay. My favorite is, there's actually a community poll that was set out recently on all the runners' favorite and least favorite dungeons, and it was like overwhelmingly City in the Sky is everyone's favorite speedrun dungeon. And that, I would say that's my second favorite because we're going to do a lot of tricks with the boomerang in that dungeon when we get there.
Okay.
But my favorite is the Lakebed Temple because there is a specific trick that we do in that dungeon that you can't do in any other dungeon. So we'll see that in a while from now, but it's very, very cool.
Cool. Okay, great. I like that you value like the specific traps that you can do in places, and you're like, well, that's what makes it my favorite.
Oh yeah.
That's
This
cool.
game is like way more linear, I would say, than Majora's Mask.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially just
do you
for a casual playthrough. It's the same way.
Do you think like your choices on casual versus you're just doing this normally, basically?
Right.
Now?
Yeah. I just have to do this
That's why we're
normally. A
talking.
lot of this run. That's why it's so long. There's no way to get around some of these doors, so you just have to do some of this, the regular way.
Yeah, for sure. So then, like, do you think casually you would have had a different choice of like favorite temple? Do you remember?
Yes,
when you played
actually.
this casually?
So my favorite dungeon casually was always the desert dungeon, the Arbiter's Grounds.
Okay.
I just have a thing for like the desert Zelda dungeons, like Stone Tower Temple, Spirit Temple,
Yeah.
Arbiter's Grounds. They're all so great.
Cool.
So I'm kind of happy that that's in the any percent run, honestly. And you play a lot of the dungeon too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. From my memory, I'm excited to see more.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna wait until he blows his little trumpet thing here, because if I jump too early here, he's gonna run away.
Right. Yeah, this is definitely kind of a frustrating. Like, it's just a little tedious, this section.
Yeah,
specifically.
yeah, because you have to actually do this twice in the casual playthrough. Luckily, you only do it once in the speedrun, but
That's nice.
yeah. I am still like in shock that I was able to hit those two tricks first try. I was practicing just so much of that before stream today, so it paid off.
GDQ luck.
It's good. All right,
Definitely
so
GDQ luck.
time to head into everybody's just absolute least favorite Zelda puzzle of all time. And honestly, I'm happy that I know the exact puzzle for this now.
Yeah.
It's where you move the statues.
There's some more than one solution or like path you could go for this, I believe. It just takes longer in certain.
Yeah,
Oh,
I had to
right?
use my strategy guide for this because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. This is too much for my brain.
I remember it takes me so long. I just forget, and then I go back and play this game again, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. So luckily, I know the exact path. I don't even know how many moves it is. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's I think 13 moves is the least amount you can do for this.
Jeez. Yeah, it makes sense that like, you're speedrunning, you're gonna have to know the exact method for it.
There's different ways to like do this puzzle, but there's one fast way, and this is just the fastest way to do it.
There you go. And it's done.
Done.
So I would say kind of similar to with Majora's Mask, I'm curious about, with your learning of this, if there is one section that people could figure out how to skip, what do you think would be the next thing you'd be like, please get this out of the game?
There are Twilight sections that we still have to do. There's not the forest one, but the other two we have to do, which is by far just the most tedious of all of it. And if there's a way to skip that, it's just funny because this game has so many things that are so close to being able to be skipped. There's just like some sort of block. Like for instance, there is a barrier surrounding the castle at a certain point of the run, and there's been talk of like a barrier skip for the longest time, but the reason why it's not feasible right now is because your items are like blocked out there. It's like this game is just created so much more effectively than the other games.
Okay, so
yeah.
You can actually get past the barrier, you just can't access your items? Is that what's happening?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if there were to be a barrier skip, we can't even like do anything about it because we can't access any of our items. I think it's just like the lantern that we can use, so we can't use bombs to like clip out or like the boomerang or any of that in that barrier spot. So we're kind of just like limited, kind of like the first cycle that I was talking about with Majora's Mask, how it's limited. It's similar for that barrier thing as well.
Makes sense. So yeah, here's a little piece that you get that will like dissolve into Link, I think, accidentally at some point, or
right, exactly. So the reason why we did this is so that we have the ability to change in between wolf and human early, and that just makes the game a little more busted than before.
Yeah. Come on, Zelda games, no, they're not linear. At least not in speedruns.
Yeah.
Come on, chat.
Come on, Chad. How is Midna not the best companion, just by far.
Also, Midna's Lament is one of the best songs.
Oh yeah,
in my opinion. Beautiful.
absolutely.
Yeah. So now you have fast warping, which is
Yep.
fantastic.
So now we can warp around. That's another thing is like we can just warp everywhere now.
Yeah.
But so now I'm gonna go back and do another one of those back in time glitches where I'm gonna be pressing, you know, the XB and start on the frame that I void out, and this is where that second file is gonna come into play because that file is going to set certain flags in this dungeon coming up, and it's going to accelerate the dungeon like crazy. So you'll see when I get in there what it does.
Awesome. Sounds like there's a lot of similarities in like the kind of save file, like accessible menu screen,
Right.
Coding as like Skyward Sword, because we just saw that at AGDQ.
But it is actually that glitch is called reverse bit magic. Gymnast has played a big role in that, and he. I honestly don't know the technical aspects of that. It's pretty complicated. I watched a video on it, and it's like up there with SRM in terms of how complicated that is to keep up with. But it's just deep knowledge of the game's coding that helps with that.
Yeah.
So now we're just going to make our way through the mist here. Nice. And then make our way into the Forest Temple. So you guys are going to want to pay attention coming up here after I get rid of these guys. This back in time glitch we're going to be doing.
Right. And you said that's going to help
on,
skip
dude.
a bunch of the dungeon.
Dude, just
Right?
look at me. Oh my gosh. Come
He's
on,
busy.
dude. There we go. These things
just
are
wanna
just,
sniff the ground.
they just don't see you ever. Oh man. All right, so now we're gonna make our way into the Forest Temple here. This run is so comfy. I love this run. Okay.
This is a very comfy run. All Zeldas are comfy runs to me.
Yeah.
Even when they're super broken.
All right, we are in the Forest Temple. So now I'm going to do that back in time glitch. I have to do a very specific setup here to where I have to do this all in one motion to get this to work as well. I'll explain when I'm done. So I'm going to get on this wall here. So I pause on a specific frame. So now I'm going to save because I'm going to have to come back to the beginning of this dungeon. So I save here. And after I'm done with the save, I'm going to hit the XB and start.
Okay.
And what it's going to do is put me through the wall, and it's going to put me back on the title screen, hopefully. There we go. So now I'm going to jump in the void, but press start as I'm going down. And this is going to activate the flags on file 2. So you're going to see it's going to send me into this weird area with some weird music that plays. It's going to send me into the King Bulbin fight scene right after the Goron Mines. And so this is going to set specific flags for some reason in the run. So it's going to send me here. And it plays like the indoors music for some reason. I don't know why it does that. And so now my file on file 1 is glitched in a way where it has certain boss flags that have been triggered. And this is actually going to play a part in Lakebed Temple as well. So if I come up here, you're not going to be able to see it yet. But I'm going to come up here.
Are you looking for items from this enemy?
So I take these, since I don't have the slingshot, I'm going to take these things and throw them at the spiders here. Okay, so there's one. This is also an RNG related thing, because sometimes the nut will just completely miss the spider, and I don't know what causes it.
Yeah.
But we're going to take the other one here, and this spider has a name. I just can't remember what its name is. It's pretty funny, though. So then we're going to take this guy and do the same thing.
So how do... I mean, I'm not sure this is something that you know yet, if you're still learning some stuff in this game. I mean, you seem like you're already pretty advanced, but I'm just really curious about the correlation between save file 1 and 2, because you would think that they would be different.
So remember when I saved that file, I saved it at the Ordon Village or whatever right after I got the iron boots.
Yeah.
So that file, because of the location of where I saved, it corresponds to certain flags in dungeons. So that back in time glitch will activate the flags to produce this. So now I have all the monkeys. I don't have to go and rescue any of the monkeys. Yeah.
Okay, we just
and
saw
that
the
was
results
found,
of it.
I think, in 2018.
Okay.
So it's,
I mean,
yeah.
it's just like you're in a completely different save file. Like you would think that they wouldn't have this kind of connection.
Oh yeah, I just still am baffled with this. I don't understand. And another thing is, if I were to void there on accident, like fall down and not make it across, I would have to redo that back in time glitch because the way that it works is it has the flag set just for this save here, and then yeah. So I'm happy I made it across there.
Yeah.
And then so now we're at Ook. This is our favorite boss in the game here. So this is luck based, how many times he'll jump around here. And then the best addition to this game is just attacking his butts. And then because we have the Master Sword, you can kill him really fast.
Wow, look at that.
Yep. And now we have probably the most busted item in this run. And you'll see different
Fairy boomerang.
applications of this coming up. Yeah,
Yeah,
boomerang.
the fairy
yep.
boomerang, you can use it to like launch you really, really far.
Uh-huh. So
Super cool.
it's really cool, the type of movement that you can do with this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, this if you all haven't seen what the fairy boomerang can do in this run, like get excited because
Yeah, it's super cool.
yeah. Yeah.
So this is our friend, the boomerang, that we really need. And then we are going to just do a save and quit, equip our iron boots. So now we're going to do a forest escape. So this glitch that we're going to do next is going to just allow us to not have to finish the Twilight and just escape into the woods, or out of the woods rather.
You said finish the Twilight?
So what we're about to do here, we don't have to finish the Twilight in the forest area. We don't have to go get the bugs is what I mean.
Oh, right. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So we can just
looking for
bypass all that with a specific like jump with the boomerang here that we're gonna do. You inspired me to get some tea, by the way, when you went to go get some.
Mine was delicious. So I don't
Yeah.
blame you.
All right.
So you only needed to go through the first temple just enough to get the fairy boomerang, that you don't need to beat it?
Correct, yes. So I only needed to get the boomerang, and now we're good on that dungeon. Don't have to beat the boss.
Cool.
So now we're gonna come over here. Midna's gonna be like, go back, finish the Twilight. But if you get into a specific spot here on the ground, it's a little tricky to see. This should work. I can throw the boomerang in a certain way to exit the area. So I'm gonna go just to the right of this post. Now I'm gonna do the jumps, and now I'm out of the woods.
So you're able to like aim it, and because you have, what is it, like every time you do
So
like you click the target basically?
yeah,
you
so
can
the
jump
way it
slash
works
toward it?
is you don't necessarily have to target to get that long jump, but I'm gonna do another thing here. Hopefully I skip this postman. He's kind of an issue here. I mean, it's not that much time lost, but it's just funny when I mess this up because the postman's funny in this game. But the boomerang, when it's out of bounds, will basically when it's out of bounds, like if I were to throw it now and it's in bounds, I won't get the jump. I have to wait until it's out of bounds here. So when it loops around there, nice, I missed it. So here is
Postman.
our friend the postman.
Great.
I like this
he
postman
tries
more than
to-
the MM one.
He tries to interrupt you at every time you cross that bridge into the
Yeah.
town.
Right. So that's not an issue. He just runs up, loses a little bit of time, and then
Yeah.
now we're making our way into another really tough trick. This is just back-to-back tough tricks coming up here. This one coming up is going to be a frame perfect input, and it'll save me a good minute if I get it.
Okay. Okay, chat loves the postman, by the way.
Oh yeah, I mean I did too. I honestly, when I messed that up in my runs, I just laughed it off. I don't even care. It's funny. All right, back into the Elden Twilight now. So we are going to make our way up to the Shadow Beast by this bridge coming up.
So the game still thinks that you're like supposed to be forced back into Wolfland.
Correct. Yes.
And you.
We're gonna skip learning the scent. We actually don't even need the scent. So we're gonna come up here and get these guys, and then I'm gonna do that input here coming up.
Is that to find a worst girl?
And then, okay, here it is.
Okay, here we go. This is more important.
Ah, I missed it by 1 frame. That's okay.
So what would have happened there?
So what happens here? I'll just stop here and explain what happens. So you have 1 frame where you're active here when the cutscene happens before this text. So this text just means that I have to do a forced warp. Like I can't get out of this. So I'm going to be forced to warp back into Farron Woods.
Okay.
But if I get that input, I can jump. It's called a gorge void, this trick. So you can actually jump with the wolf into this gorge, and it'll respawn you at the beginning of this map, and you don't have to do the forced warp, which means that you can progress in this area and not have to run all the way back.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
So
I see.
Yeah, it just takes away some like movement, I guess.
Yeah, because you have to get the bridge piece.
You actually do a glitch to get past it, but you're forced to warp back here, and now I'm actually going to go back there later. We're going to go to Lanayru now. I'm going to do a clip into this gate at Lanayru.
Okay.
This is a little confusing to follow at first. Like, even when I started my first run, I was having a hard time keeping up with why I was supposed to be in what areas and all that. So if anyone has any questions, just definitely toss them in the chat. But yeah, we're going to do this forest escape again here. So basically failing that gorge void means that we have to do an extra one of these forest escapes because we get forced back in here. Turn around. Bang, bang. Nice.
Nice.
All right.
That doesn't seem like one of the more difficult things.
No,
to learn, right?
that one's not hard at all. As long as you know where you're supposed to stand, it's very, very easy.
Cool. That'd be a good thing for like beginner learners to play around with.
Yes, definitely. As long as you know where you're standing on the ground, you just have to find. The thing about these tricks is you just have to find a spot or a texture that works best for you, because some runners use like different cues and all that. We are going to make our way over here. We're not normally supposed to get over here. This is to Lanayru, and the reason why we're doing this is because we're going to go get the claw shot from the Lakebed Temple, and I don't have the Zor armor, so we're going to be entering that without the Zor armor, which is another hard trick.
Okay, great. It's the same thing.
So this might take a couple tries here. There we go. Okay.
So wait, it looks like you just side hop.
Yeah, so what you do here is you just jump into it as wolf, and you see how it like rocks back and forth. So when it's rocking forward, if you time a jump in the center of this at the right time, it'll just push you through.
Because it like swings the opposite direction.
Right, it has to be like swinging, right.
That's actually really cool.
Also, this is the best like Hyrule Field music, in my opinion. It's so good. All right, so now we get forced into this, like, normally there'd be a guy over there and over there that shoots the fire arrows on the gasoline on the ground, but it's like a bugged out area with a green sky. I don't know why it does that, but I think it's because we didn't finish the Twilight in the other area.
Yeah.
So now we're going to do another hard trick here. We're going to enter the dungeon with one single breath. We're going to go all the way down and enter the dungeon. Hopefully first try.
Okay. I believe in you.
So chat needs to hold their breath here.
I'll do it. I'll do it too.
Okay.
I'll just say before we start, let me know when we're about to start so I can hold my breath.
So I have to do this all in one motion. I'll explain when I'm done. So clip out, nice. Got it, nice. Perfect. All right, we're good.
I even held my nose. Ooh.
Perfect. So now we are in the Lakebed Temple for the first time. So we're basically just going to go get the claw shot there. So that trick is called pillar clips. So what happens is you have to go into a really specific spot on that pillar. And you use the Midna text because the reason why I brought up Midna is because you can actually move very slowly but not lose air with Midna. So I was basically waiting for Link to get in the perfect spot to be able to actually clip out of bounds. And that clip is when he was like going upwards in the water and all that.
Yeah, gotcha.
So now we're in here. We're gonna go get the claw shot. Yeah, this is my favorite dungeon. There's so many cool tricks in this dungeon.
Yeah, I can't wait. So you're gonna be returning to this dungeon as well in a little while.
Yeah, we actually do 3 trips to this dungeon in this run.
Oh, 3 different trips. Okay, so
the second one's really short. This one's gonna be the longest, I would say.
Okay, so do we see the majority of like the glitches and things we're gonna be doing on this trip?
It's kind of a mix between the first and the third, I would say.
Okay.
But both of them are going to be like they're all going to be with the boomerang, like being able to jump up and on these platforms and all that without bombs and stuff is pretty essential for this.
Is this like the opposite of Majora's Mask where you don't use bombs for anything?
Yeah, you actually there's a part where I have to get rid of a lot of bombs and it hurts my eyeballs because I'm so used to, you know, if I mess any of that bomb stuff up in MM, it's just so tragic.
Yeah.
So this is a cool LJA. This is a long jump attack. So I'm gonna aim there, aim twice there, get up on that railing, and then boom. Now we can flip around the stairs here and skip like a majority of the dungeon. This works in the HD version too, the remake.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, because they patched out some of the things in the HD remake. That's cool that that's still there.
Yeah, so they patched out that back in time glitch where you're on the bridge and you can be at the title screen.
Ooh, that's huge.
Yeah, that is pretty big. So it's definitely a slower run overall. But yeah, so now we have Uku. Uku's gonna help us because we have 3 trips here. Also, another thing I noticed is Link's face here. When he sees Uku for the first time, look at his face. Yeah. He does that. Like, I never noticed that until I started speedrunning. I was like, wait, I never noticed this as a kid.
Yeah, that's definitely how I feel about Uku.
Yeah.
Visually. Okay, so then what's coming up next?
So next is going to be another LJA, and we're going to hop into the Deku Toad here. There we go. So now we can just skip having to do all that. It's just so busted. I love the boomerang jumps.
Yeah.
So now that... So do you remember the glitch with the monkeys? Where...
Yes, where it loaded them all.
Right. So what's happening now is I can actually... So that boss flag trigger I was talking about, I can actually look up and see the frog through the wall. That way I don't have to go all the way around. And now we can just do the fight.
This is for the mini boss.
Correct. Yeah. So this guy's going to give us the claw shot.
So did it let you activate that because...
It's because of the flags that were set when I did that back in time glitch. For some reason, it sets certain boss flags.
Okay.
That allow me to do this. So,
and will this be used for like it's going to be apparent for more things in the future too?
Nice. One cycle.
That was really nice.
So, yeah. So actually, I'm not going to be using that back in time glitch anymore. I've used everything for it pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it just skips like most of Lakebed and most of the Forest Temple to be able to get to Claw Shot, which is another item that's pretty important. And then we are going to save and then go back to the front. And then we're going to leave the dungeon with Uku.
Funny how they take items. I saw this from my chat. It's funny how they take items that are like commonly less used, like less important in games, like especially in Zelda games that just become immensely useful in speedruns.
And speedruns,
Like,
exactly, yeah. Like this guy,
Yeah.
I never used in
Yeah, I never used Uku.
I was
the
like,
fairy
what's the point of
boomerang.
this, you know?
Yeah.
But it's very, very useful for this run because we can just warp in and out of this dungeon. And this is a very important dungeon too because we have to kill the boss in this dungeon in order to progress to the Arbiter's grounds.
Yeah, because you need that like middle of the game kind of
Right.
cutscene section.
Right, like it's like the game doesn't check for the first two boss like fused shadows. It just checks for the final one. Same for the Twilight mirror when we do City in the Sky later. It just checks for the final one, so we basically just get to the end of those as fast as possible.
Okay.
This is my favorite character in the game.
Is he?
Fire the clown.
Yeah, he's pretty great.
All right, so we're gonna make our way over here, and we are going to fly on the trumpet bird across the river. So there's a spot over here where I can actually, I can get him in one cycle here. If he makes his way over, he's gonna do a loop around and then try to land into me here, and then hopefully I can get 2 jumps in here, knock him out.
I believe.
There's one.
Do you have to be like up high enough on the hill for that? Is that
Yeah,
right?
there we go, I got it.
Okay.
So you just have to like, yeah, you have to get a little higher up just so you can have higher ground on him or whatever. Take this guy out in one hit, of course.
Give you the extra room to like go forward.
All right, here we go.
And auto scroller basically, right?
Pretty much, yeah. It's like Star Fox 64 and Zelda right here.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good way to put it.
There's actually a clip out of bounds you can do here that I have been consistently failing and I'm not going to be able to show, but
Not marathon safe.
I just have not been able to figure it out. But you can actually clip out of bounds up on those rocks above and go all the way to the end of this without having to deal with like these bomb arrows and the falling rocks and all that, which is pretty cool.
Gotcha. Something that you're still working on.
There's like little intricacies because I'm like newer to the run, so there's little intricacies to this game that I'm gonna start adding into my runs later on. But this is you know, it definitely adds up. Like once you get down to the low 3-hour times, that's the kind of stuff that you're gonna need to toss in there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I know you're getting closer to that as well. What would you say is the next, even if it's like minute, the next kind of difficult thing that you're trying to tackle in terms of like strat additions?
There's like certain movement that you need to do in City in the Sky that'll save a couple seconds. Right now I'm doing something that's much easier, but that'll lose me, you know, like 5-ish seconds. But you know, after a while, I'm gonna have to start tossing in some of this like movement stuff to be able to, you know, tackle some of that time or whatever. All right, so now we are at the top of the river, and we are going to just get the warp point up here so we can warp back here to melt the river.
Okay, so you're not going to be doing any other interactions around here. You're literally just getting the warp.
Right, exactly. I'm just going to make my way up to the top here. Nothing too fancy.
Seems like it's taking kind of a lot of time to get from like going all the way to like Hylia, activating the cutscenes, like, flying up, getting this.
It's just amazing how much of this run you still have to do for the any percent run. You know. I'm actually interested in trying out the 100% run at some point, but it's just so long. Like the record is 6.5 hours right now.
Okay, I was about to ask.
So I'm probably gonna try it sort of soon, but it's gonna be a project for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
that makes sense.
Comparing to MM, I mean, it's a little over 2 hours longer right now for the 100% run. So, all right, so we're gonna get our warp point here. I'm gonna go around this side. These guys are a pain because there's actually a way that you can attack them in a certain order. The last one that you highlight is the one that you attack first. So if there's one that's next to the wall and you highlight him last, then you're gonna bonk into the wall, and the other one's gonna, you know, call for his friends. So
Scream, yeah.
So now we're gonna go back again to so when I failed that Gorge Void, the reason why it's important is because I'm able to stay in this area. I can't warp here because I have to get the bridge, but the reason why it's important to get that trick is because I'm able to make my way back into Kakariko Village here, and that way I don't have to go down here first, which I have to do here, and do another forest escape and make my way all the way back. So that's the time it saves if you get that frame perfect jump. And then we're gonna do some boring Twilight stuff that I hope there's a skip for at some point.
Yeah. Good to know.
that should knock out a good 20 minutes off the run if we can knock out the Luneru and Eldin Twilights for sure. Okay, so we're doing our little thing here again. Okay. Actually, another thing I learned when speedrunning is when you're equipping things, you can actually hold the L button and move your way across the item wheel instead of like going all the way around it. So I'll pause here and I'll show you.
Oh, what?
So like, do you see how it says L plus direct select? I never saw that as a kid. So like, instead of going around for the lantern, you can just like do a down left while holding L.
I don't know if I ever used that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, it's totally useful for speedruns because it's faster equips.
Huh. I don't know. It's been a while since I played this, so like I'm trying to remember. Also, I didn't realize that it's just something I never thought about when you're attacking the Twilight monsters. That the last one you highlight is the first one you attack. I feel like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's. I mean, that's another thing I learned from speedruns because I have to learn it just because if you bonk into a wall, then you have to round them up again and do the same thing again. So
right, it's like these
it's
small
such
nuances.
A pain.
Yeah, it's small nuances that you just don't think about until you start speedrunning, and you're like, why didn't I realize this? It's super interesting.
Exactly. All right, so
we're running back up.
Back into Eldin Twilight, and we're going to do a huge LJA across this gorge here. So this is called Rupee Roll. So basically, I'm going to be taking this rupee that I'm going to dig up here, and I'm going to throw the boomerang in a specific spot and angle to where I can jump up onto this fence. And the way that I stay on the fence is with, how in this game, the annoying like rupee text comes up when you find a new rupee?
Yes.
Yeah, so that actually has a use in the speedrun, which is pretty funny. But it's gonna freeze me on top this gate or this fence, and I'm gonna be able to go around the other side and jump across. So if I can get this first try, that'd be pretty cool. It's kind of tricky because the rupee is on a timer here before it disappears. So I have to get into my spot here and then get the boomerang ready. And aim up right about there. That should work. There we go. So I'm frozen on the fence here.
Oh, wow.
So I roll off. That's why it's called Rupee Roll. And now we're on the other side of the fence here. So
okay.
So now we come over here. This is just the bridge skip, being able to not have to like get the bridge. So jump. These are kind of precise jumps too.
Is this a backup strat because you didn't get the thing earlier? Or
no, you have to do this automatically. Like I would have had to, like if I get the Gorge Void, I would do this right away so I can get the warp point in the town, so I don't have to come all the way back through Harrowfield.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And then boom, there you go.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
You barely make it over that fence. It's pretty cool.
That's why you have to do those precise jumps to get to the right spot. Okay.
All right. So I'm actually gonna do a quick save here in case I mess up this movement here.
Yeah, what's coming up?
So I have to move into town here in a specific way because there's a cutscene that'll start and it'll bug out. I don't know why it plays this cutscene. I think it's because I'm not supposed to be here right now. So it'll play like a weird cutscene if I fail this movement here. So we're just gonna make our way on the edge here. And then, all right, so we're good now. So the cutscene that I skipped there is a cutscene that it triggers the King Bulbin running through the town scene or whatever.
Yeah.
And so by going around the outside, it doesn't trigger it for some reason. I don't know why it does that, but yeah, if that happens, then I think it's a soft lock if you do that because of the way that, you know, the kids that you're rescuing here are positioned and all that. So
Okay.
all right, now we get some. Yeah, so now we're just gonna collect some bugs. We're gonna do this for Lanayru and for Eldon.
Ooh, I kept calling them pearls. I think I was confusing it with Skyward Sword. Yeah, these are tears.
Oh yeah, these are the tears, right?
It looks really similar.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting is in the HD version of this, they actually took out a lot of the bugs because the fans complained of how tedious these sections were. So the HD version has less bugs that you have to collect here, which is pretty cool. So we're actually going to get this guy after we go in here because you have to wait for the whatever, like the tier to pop up and all that before you can collect it. So it'll still be there when I come back to it after coming down here.
Right, yeah. And then you just grab it on the way. This is you're playing on the Wii, but this is the GameCube version specifically, right?
Correct. So like I'm playing it on my Wii. You could do this on GameCube. I think GameCube might have slower load times, but this is just like vanilla disc, vanilla English disc on my Wii.
Okay.
So we're gonna come back up here.
Is it just the version that you have, or you think it's faster?
Well, the fastest version is actually German, but the only reason it's faster is for text reasons, and it saves like 7 seconds or something. So I decided not to invest in an $80 disc for 7 seconds of time saved.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Eventually, I might have to do it, but yeah. But these discs they kind of go for a lot right now. It's kind of hard to come by. This is my childhood disc I still had. I got lucky that I kept it.
Yeah, I'm in the same way with most of my stuff. I'm like a game hoarder.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I have to wait till that guy comes down. That way he doesn't jump all the way around the room and all that.
Oh, and there's a little cutscene for that, isn't there?
Right, exactly. So.
Oh, right. Okay.
So every time you kill one, they have like a little animation that pops up, and you can't collect it until that little cutscene is over.
Oh, that was smart. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, this has just like a ton of like little things. It seems like it's. I wouldn't say all of this is beginner friendly, but it looks like this run has a lot of things that somebody who's just learning can be like, okay, I know how to pick this up. Like it's not.
I gotta say,
impossible
this
to
is.
pass. Like,
yeah, I gotta say, like, this is a very advanced speed run. Like, this is one of the hardest runs I've ever learned, easily.
But there's just so much into it that picking up some of this will feel more fluid at first.
Yeah,
at least.
Exactly.
Like it's not like trying to learn SRM.
Oh yeah. SRM, like this is way more straightforward. Like this is kind of a thing where you can just watch someone do something and then perform it yourself. But SRM, there's so many different little intricacies in MM and OT that you really have to pay attention to what you're doing in order to get that stuff to work.
So maybe that's more specific, but you said this is more, maybe not technical. You did say advanced. I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, like this is. I would consider this more of a like movement-based speedrun.
Yeah.
Versus just performing the glitches sort of thing. Because like the better movement you have in this run, you're definitely going to stand out and get a better time.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. And EA Tears is so fun.
Yeah, I know. I would love if they got this to like be removed from the run.
Right. So it seems like the most impressive thing we've seen so far, or just like the biggest kind of like skip thing you could do with Tears is just avoiding small cutscenes.
Yeah, exactly. And the Lanayru section is almost twice as long as this one, so that's great. We're almost done with this one, thankfully, but then it's straight to the next set of stuff there. So this one, I'm actually going to kill him down here and then let it spawn, and now I'm all the way up here so I can collect it and then run out.
Oh yeah, that's definitely faster. I have a quick aside, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So somebody wants to know if speedrunning is hard to learn, and the first thing that comes to mind for me is that there's actually another GDQ hotfix show that's awesome. It's one of my favorites, and I've actually been a guest on it before. It's called The First Step, and that's the hosts for that are Keyzeron and J Hobbs. And what they do is they decide to just pick up a game they just decide to pick up a random game that they've never speed ran, and they take like one day before the show to try to run it and see if they can do it within a certain amount of time. And then on the day of the show, they run it again, and they typically race each other, sometimes co-op. And it's just showing that, like, yeah, they don't know it. They're just teaching themselves strategies, like, without learning anything specific for the speedrun. Like, it's all about their own self-exploration of speedrun strategies, and just, like, showing you that anybody can do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a good show.
So I paused here because this is actually like the only trick in this Twilight section that we do.
Yeah.
But so if you kill this bug, so normally when I did an LJA to jump over here, but normally there's a bug here that will run across and go into the bomb hut here. But if you kill it, let's see if I can do this. If you kill it before, just watch the hut. So I killed him before, so now I don't have to go in there, and the hut's just gone. It just disappears.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then you just get the tears, and you're good to go. That's the bomb house skip. It's pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a nice save.
Yeah. Make our way up here. We are almost done with the first Twilight.
Awesome.
So I'm interested to see if chat prefers this or Majora's Mask so far.
Chat, what do you think? Do you like watching more of the game like this and seeing more kind of, I almost want to say, like, in-your-face threats? Or do you prefer, like, the SRM, like, incredibly broken style of Majora's Mask?
I personally prefer this just because there's so much more of the game that you have to play, you know? But, like, the surprise factor of the SRM drives it for me as well, so.
For sure. For, like, a first-timer, apps, like, especially, it's really, really cool.
Uh-huh.
Well, I feel like it also depends on the category you want to go for. Like, this one, you're going to have plenty of content to see in either way. I feel like 100% for Majora's Mask is this. I don't know. I love 100% in games like
I love it, too. It's such a great run.
Yeah, I think that definitely has, like, a really strong pull for me.
All right.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of Twilight Princess, couple of Majoras.
This game is, like,
hard picks.
Honestly, like, the art style in this game is kind of dull, but I kind of like that, you know? Like, MM is, like, they're both kind of dark premises to the like, overall plot of the game, but this game just has so much, you know, to offer in terms of the amount of stuff that you have to do versus MM. But MM is more colorful, and I think it's, you know, just funnier in general. It's, like, less serious, I guess, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I can see that. I see what you mean.
Okay, so we're gonna get this guy. Oh, whoops. Get these two, and there you go.
So we're up near the Goron Mines now, right?
Correct. And we are not going to go in the Goron Mines whatsoever in this run. We can actually skip it entirely.
Are we just here for the... Oh, no, we're just here for the tiers, right? I was wondering about
Correct. So the reason why we're getting the tiers is the reason why we're getting these tiers is to unlock the Lanayru tiers.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why we get the Lanayru tiers is so we can go to Arbiter's Grounds later.
Oh, gotcha. Oh.
Like, there's no way currently to get into Arbiter's Grounds unless you get the tiers.
Okay. What about, like, the big molten thing that comes out of the sky?
So yeah, we're gonna be snagging that right after I get this bug here. Oh man, these bugs are just... No, the trumpet bird. Okay.
Okay, you got it first. That's good.
Perfect. Okay, so we're done with one Twilight, thankfully. Okay. So this is actually kind of funny. I don't know why this is bugged out too. There's always this, like, weird silver thing in the way there. Okay, so now we are going to go to the top of the mountain. and grab that big molten piece and put it at the warp point in the Zora's River.
Right. So everything can be melted.
To melt the
work.
river. So you have to transform over here. Oh, nice. Just so that guy doesn't see you. That's why I run over there. And then we get our big rock here.
Yeah, because otherwise Midden is like, no, somebody's looking. You can't transform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do our warp. Oops. I just love the cutscene skips in this game. Just pressing start and skipping all this. It just takes away so much. Okay, so now we're gonna go get the Lanayru vessel. So in the Twilight, if you step on the edges here, there is a very long cutscene that starts. And the way to get around that is use the iron boots, jump in the water, and swim under it. So now we can skip it. It's the cutscene of the Zora Queen, I think, that pops up and she's like, yo, go save my son and all that.
Yeah, like her spirit, right.
This is funny too. There's the Link howl here, because you're not normally supposed to be human in the Twilight or whatever, so it has like the howl ready to go.
Oh. Okay.
All right, so now cool. Also, I don't know if I'm dropping frames right now. I apologize for that.
Based on what I'm seeing, you look good. It looks fine. But
okay. It is definitely not the best today.
That's okay.
All right, so now we have our vessel, and we're going to go get some more bugs. How fun.
Hooray. Just as a quick heads up for the audience, we will be taking a short break in the middle of the run because we do have, I don't want to call it mandated, but GDQ Hotfix shows have necessary breaks in them to make sure that our hosts and our runners are adequately able to stretch and avoid blood clots and things like that. It's basically health and wellness related breaks. So we will be doing that in the middle of this run, just for a couple minutes, just so we can get up, use the restroom.
Which is not a bad idea, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a really nice little stopping point in that. We'll take a quick break and then come back and do the other part of the run. Just as a heads up now, since we're coming up on that in a little bit. Not quite yet.
Oh my goodness, these guys are just... There we go. They just do not want to follow me.
A wellness break. There you go. Yes, hydrate. Hydrate is good. Agreed, chat. I'll hydrate.
So playing through this, just casually, was always my least favorite. This particular section, just having to go around and do all this, because I was just so excited to get to the Master Sword at this point.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know if I'm misremembering, but don't you have to use the... You don't have to fly up the river again, right?
I actually do, yeah. To get some of the bugs, yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to fly up.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's part of why I found this so tedious.
Yeah, you have to go up and down the river, and there's like one bug. Or wait, I need to go back here. There's like one bug in Castletown. You have to go all the way out of your way into Castletown just to do that. So it's kind of a pain. But yeah, that's another instance of going underneath that cutscene trigger there. And now I'm going to stop at the top here. Put on my iron boots. Come over here. There we go.
Nice.
Drop down right there. Like, I think in the HD version, they cut out probably 5 total of these bugs. I think that's one of them, or maybe it's the ones that are down in here or something. So it cuts out a large portion of this which honestly I love about that version.
Right.
Got these two guys.
And these are the bugs with the boss one, right? Isn't that the Lanayru ones?
Yeah, these are the Lanayru ones. Yep.
No, like there's the big boss one at the end.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the doggy paddling on the wolf. Trying to collect some rupees here because I need to have 300 by the time I get to right before City in the Sky. Because
to repair.
Yeah, right, to repair the cannon, which is 300.
Gotcha.
So I'll be collecting some throughout the run here.
So after we're done with the tiers, what's like the next big thing that we have that you're going to be working on?
So the next thing we're going to do after the tiers is we're actually going to go to Snowpeak. And the reason is because we need to get the ball and chain. And there is only one use for the ball and chain in this run that you have to use it for. And that is for the one phase of Zant that you need to hit his foot with the ball and chain. Otherwise, like if there was a way around that, we wouldn't have to go all the way to Snowpeak to get the ball and chain. So that would save... If we somehow find a way to pass that part of Zant, that'd be a good 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Off the run.
So we're only going to Snowpeak to get the ball and chain.
That's the only reason. Yep. Just so we can, and we're gonna pick up some orange rupees on the way, just because it'll add to our count. But I mean, we'd be able to get rupees elsewhere. Just the ball and chain is a big mystery right now. That'd be a very, very big skip if we could figure out how to skip the ball and chain. So right now I'm at it like an overhead view on my camera because if you don't do it, I'll just show what happens in this next part. It's like so laggy if you don't do it this way.
Oh, it gets laggy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like little camera tricks you have to do in this run sometimes. So you'll see the lag here if I don't.
How do you hold it up above like that?
So you just hold down on the C stick.
Oh, you're just holding down the whole time. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I just never focus on that. I'm always
I know. Like I would have never caught it, honestly, but it is slightly faster to do that. So we have more of these guys. These have to be just the most annoying enemies in this entire run.
Right. But they're so necessary for warping and...
Right, yeah. And they're spread out. Like, it's luck-based with how they're spread out. So, and, like, the position that they're in. So you have to, like, kind of act on the fly here. Like, this guy, I don't know what this guy's doing. And we got you and then you. Perfect, okay.
Nice.
And these guys actually hit you a full heart. I think that's
a lot.
pretty rough, yeah, because most of this run you've got some low health going on.
Yeah. Yeah, you've taken 1 heart of damage. What was that just now?
Yeah, just now. He hit me just now.
Okay.
So the only reason we're over here is because we need to get this, well, that war point and this one bug that is here. I don't know why. Like, they had to have been messing with us when they added this one bug in here.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if this one's taken out in the HD version or not, but yeah, this one is just, it's like, why, dude?
Well, I think they also want to encourage you to go to, wasn't it? Oh, wait, this is over here.
Yeah.
What am I thinking of?
So I was doing some specific dash cancel. This is called dash canceling. So you press A and then B when you're in town, and it makes you move a little faster by doing that. So now we're gonna go back.
I feel like...
What's up? I'm sorry.
Oh, you're going back up to the top.
I'm gonna go to the bottom of the lake because we're gonna get the ones on the bottom, and then we're gonna call the trumpet bird.
Right.
And get the ones that you have to fly to get. We'll go down here.
I was just going to say that it seems like a lot of temple visiting in this game is just about collecting the items from it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Some of them you have to complete. It's just cool that there's only 2 dungeons that we don't go in this run.
Yeah.
Which is the Temple of Time and Goron Mines.
Someone in chat says that one bug is still in Castle.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. In the HD version.
Wow, they really kept that one in there, didn't they?
Yeah.
Man. All right, so I'm not gonna go all the way up the river this time. I'm actually just gonna get the 4 that are here, and then I'm gonna run into the wall so that we can go back down the river.
Okay.
And then we are pretty much done with the Twilight after that, except for the boss.
Right.
Then it's back to more tricks. And we are almost to the break point, by the way, the more fuel. We're getting pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just gonna run into the wall here. Then go back down. I love that that's in the run, it's funny.
Yeah.
So then it's gonna end up back on the shore over here, which is exactly where a bug is at. Just run and get him. So now we have all of them except the last one, which is the boss bug.
Right, and you have to get all of them in order to spawn this last
Right,
one.
you have to get all of them in order to spawn this guy, yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the order of progression totally makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I swear I found one of these in my house the other day.
Did you get the tear of a spirit after that?
I am lucky I survived it. I'll just tell you that much.
This boss is so gross.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look in first person cam here to reduce more lag, because if I don't, I'll just show you how. Oh crap! It just adds a little more lag.
Yeah. Gross.
Reduce a little more lag here.
Yeah, you can natively use GameCube controllers with
Oh yeah.
like on the Wii. And he's
On the
playing
old
the
ones you
actual
can,
GameCube
yeah.
version. Sorry.
Yeah, on the old Wii's, they actually took out the GameCube ports on the new ones, which I'm kind of sad about. But
That's weird.
yeah. So you can do a quick kill on this guy too. So I'm gonna jump on him in a certain way here, and then go up to the top part, and there you go.
There you go. Oh,
we are done with the
yes.
Twilight. Yes, finally.
But yes, he's playing the GameCube version on the Wii.
Correct. Yes, just everything you're seeing here with just regular English GameCube disc with my GameCube controller. So anything you're seeing, you can try it yourself. All right, so now we are going to. We need bombs now because we need to get water bombs in order to kill the Morpheal boss. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up to Zora's domain, and we're gonna get a lent bomb bag from the lady at the Zora's River with the boat minigame.
Right.
And after we get that, we're gonna come back here. Or wait, I need to go this way. Oops. So this cutscene thing that I was talking about is gone now because the Twilight's gone. So we can just run through.
Awesome.
But we're gonna get that lent bomb bag, and it's gonna allow us to get the real bomb bag from the Goron that's underwater there. So you'll see that coming up here in a sec. We're basically just gonna go down the river.
The Goron underwater, doesn't he usually give you like an upgrade or a...
He gives you
Something.
just a bag of 30 bombs, like an extra bomb bag, because you can get multiple bomb bags
Oh.
in this game.
It's an extra one, right? Okay.
Yeah, it just so happens that like the reason why we're able to get that one in particular is because we're skipping the first one that you'd usually get in Kakariko Village.
Right.
So you
Makes
have to
sense.
use the lent bomb bag for the game to be like, oh, well now he's allowed to get this other one.
Yeah.
And this is I love how in this game these songs are songs from other Zelda games. Like this is the Requiem of Spirit from Ocarina of Time here.
Yeah. The Spirit Temple song.
Finally, I can't skip this cutscene so we can relax for a second. This game is all about, because you can skip all the cutscenes, it's just constant gameplay the whole time.
So what's I know you've done this just a little bit with like the actual songs. So why are you learning these? Like what is helpful in the run with
So the reason why we need to learn this is because we absolutely have to get the ending blow move, which is the first, you know, it's like the move where you jump and do the stab on the enemies to kill them.
Right.
And the reason why we need to do that is because that is the only way to kill Final Ganon. There's no way around it.
That's what I thought.
Unless we get this.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're gonna come down here, transform in front of the sign because it's kind of funny. Got it. And then she's gonna have the most hilarious shriek of any Zelda game I've ever heard in my life. In a second here. I just think that's so funny every time. It just sounds so out of place to me. There we go. Perfect. So now she's going to give us that Lent bomb bag, and we're going to go into our second trip into Lakebed Temple here. I'm actually going to use Uku. I don't know if you guys remember that when I placed Uku the first time. So now we're going to get a use for that. And the reason why we're doing that is because we're going to replace the bombs, the regular bombs, with water bombs in this Lent bomb bag that she gave us. Oops. So in order to do that, I actually have to get rid of all the bombs. So we're going to leave 3 bombs for her and then just peace out. And run away. So she's going to have to deal with that one herself.
You said this is the part that like hurts your eyes, right?
Yes, because in MM we need bombs all the time, but in this one we have to like get rid of them ASAP. So now to get rid of them fast, you literally, this is the funniest thing about this run. You just stand here and do this to get rid of all the bombs. It's like, how is this in the any percent run? I can't believe it that you just stand here and you have to do this. It's
Here
funny.
they go.
So we're gonna get rid of all but 2 and then just make our way over to the chest. And then open, and now we have water bombs in our Lent bomb bag here.
Perfect.
So that is Lakebed 2 right there. Now we're peacing out again. Well, we'll be back.
I love how that's the only reason you go.
I know, it's funny. It's just like, it seems so out of place for this run.
Yeah.
We are almost halfway done. Whoops. Okay, so now we're gonna get a real bomb bag from the Goron Underwater here. And I'm gonna do a glitch called Rocket Link. So you're able to pull a water bomb underwater and end up on the surface of the water if you, so I'll slow it down when I get down there. But basically I'm gonna be pulling a bomb and then replacing my iron boots with a different item, and what that's going to do is it's going to put the bomb in a state that gives me, it allows me to get air refills, which is why I'm able to skip Zora armor and able to kill more fuel in this run. So what's going to happen is I'm going to equip the boots. I'm going to go down here.
I'm curious about this.
And so the air refill, I think it just corresponds to like Link just rocketing up to the surface or something. And so I'm able to do a trick here where I just shoot back up onto the top after I get this real bomb bag. So now I don't have to worry about the Lent bomb bag anymore.
Awesome.
So now I'm going to do the glitch where I replace the iron boots here.
What you had?
What's that?
I was wondering if it replaced it or added to it. Okay.
Yeah, so I just have to put an item over the iron boots, and then if I press A at the right time, it shoots me to the top like that.
Whoa.
Yeah. Which is pretty funny. And the problem with that is when you're in the Morpheal fight, if I accidentally do that, I'm 100% going to drown. So the way to get the air refill is you just wait a little longer to press A there in order to get an air refill, but not shoot up to the top. So I intentionally pressed A early there. So I just have to make sure that I'm not going to press A too early in the boss fight.
Yeah, can you explain that setup one more time? Because that happened so fast.
Yeah, so basically what I'm doing is I'm making the motion that I'm going to pull out a water bomb. But before Link pulls it out of his pocket, I'm pressing the item wheel and I'm replacing iron boots with a different item. So that's going to put the bomb in a state where I can drop it while I'm swimming and it gives me an air refill.
Okay.
And that's important because I'm going to have to use that in 2 different instances in this run.
But if you do that really fast, you like fly up. Instead
Right,
in the water.
exactly.
Okay.
Like the other property is that happens. So this next trick is called map glitch. So normally you need to get the reek fish to run through here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug my controller because you need to press the midna, the Z, and the map at the same time on the same frame. So I'm holding map and Z here. So it's going to pull the map up, and I'm going to fake warp. So I'm going to pretend like I'm warping out of here, but then midna is going to talk to me right after. So what that did is it got rid of all the load zones in the area.
Oh,
so now, instead of voiding out here when I run across, I can just run across because the, the blizzard is gone or whatever.
Right.
So that's just completely skipping that little reek fish quest or whatever.
So like anyone can do that.
Oh yeah, it's super easy. All you do is just hold map and the midna button, and then just replug your controller back in, and then it should work every time.
All right, so you hear that, chat? If you just decide casually that you want to
skip the little reek fish quest, and you want to get to Snowpeak early, then
there you go.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
So there's weird side effects to this. So one thing is, because I have the load zones not active, I'm not able to go into the next areas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to this forced load zone from this Howling Stone that I have to go into. And what that's going to do is it's going to remove the map glitch. So I'm able to progress into the next area.
That's cool.
So that's why I'm going to end up going into this Howling Stone. And another thing is if I press sense, for some reason, if you press sense while the map glitch is active, you cannot unsense. So it's just like dark until you get to the stone, basically.
Wow. Okay.
So that's why I'm doing this Howling Stone, just so I can get rid of the map glitch. So this time I don't have to do the second part of this. I just have to enter this load and then leave, just so that it gets rid of the glitch.
I'm here.
Yep.
I'm gone.
All right, so then go back over here. This is one of my favorite parts of the run, just this entire section of stuff that we have to do here. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, we have not completed a single dungeon, and we're all the way up here now.
Oh yeah, that's true. We haven't fought a single boss.
Like we haven't even fought a boss yet. Yeah.
That's amazing. This is what Zelda games are.
I know. I love it. It's just all over the place. That's why speedrunning's fun to me, because it's just like, everything's out of order. It's not how you did it as a kid. It adds an element of challenge and difference,
Yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of people like randomizers for that reason too.
Mm-hmm. So this is another skip I'm going to do. It's called the messenger skip. So I'm going to do an LJA over here, and it's going to activate the messengers, but then I void so I can skip it. So now I don't have to do the fight there. And I just go right to this dude.
Oh, fight. Okay. Right. This big boy.
Mm-hmm. I love how the fish just like its face like clips into the ground like they didn't even care. So now we get to go snowboarding. I like this more than the shield surfing in Breath of the Wild, honestly.
Oh, interesting.
It's just
I'm not very good at this.
Oh yeah, and this is actually, because I did the messenger skip, it didn't unload the snow, so it's really hard to see. So I have to somewhat memorize where I'm going here.
Gotcha. I feel like people don't believe I can snowboard in real life because I was so bad at this section.
Oh, can you snowboard in real life? My brother can snowboard too. He's pretty good.
That's like one of my favorite sports, actually.
That's awesome. I've never tried it. I'd like to try it someday.
Oh, so fun.
Yeah.
Esports, snow sports are so much fun, in my opinion.
All right, so I'm actually going to be helicoptering here above the ground, because when you're in the air, it's actually faster than being on the ground. Whoops.
Cool. That's what I was going to ask. If there are any strats that help you with this.
And then just not being a dummy. And actually, I'm going to intentionally run into this unloaded thing here. There's usually like a group of sticks or something there that blocks you, but it's unloaded because of the skip that I did. So my first run, it was like a jump scare for me because I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what
You were
happened?
just showing us that it's there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Then we are heading into Snowpeak. A lot of people say this is their favorite dungeon. It's a pretty fun one, but we skip so much of it.
Mm-hmm. It's just a really interesting style of dungeon.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I like the characters in here too, like the Yetis.
Yeah. They're like mildly creepy, but also sweet. I don't know. It's so weird.
You just like learn to love them, you know?
Uh-huh.
All right, so in we go.
This is very Silent Hill. Also, I ride standard. Has nothing to do with the run.
So right here is hilarious. You can just shoot through the floor here and skip this. I don't know why that's a thing, but it is. And then I'm going to be wasting a bunch of bombs because I need to have 0 bombs in this bag to get water bombs when we go to Morpheal. So I'm going to start dropping bombs everywhere here. And this is a pretty precise jump. Nice, we got it.
So it's mostly timing with those, right? It's placement and then timing.
So the way it works, one more time, I'll explain how LJs work. So when you throw the boomerang, if it were to be, like if I threw it above ground here, when it's coming back, it's not going to let me, I didn't do it in time, but it's not going to let me do the jump. You have to throw it over a void. So like the void is down there. So that's why I had to specifically place it so it was kind of cutting out of bounds there at the window for me to be able to jump.
Right. Yeah, you did mention out of bounds is a common place to aim it.
This is another like little out of bounds thing. You can just make your way back there.
Gotcha.
It's like barely out of bounds, but it still works. So then this floor has just garbage collision. There's that.
Cat is at the soup store right now.
We don't get any soup here, unfortunately. We're doing soup skip. Now we're gonna open this from the other side. And then now we're gonna do the Freezard skip here. So this skips like 90% of this dungeon. Being able to...
right.
If I die here, it's not a big deal because I'll just start right over here.
Okay, so how does this work?
So you're basically doing a precise jump in between the Freezard and the wall. There we go.
Okay, so that's while you have like invincibility frames after getting hit.
Right, exactly. And then now I'm gonna do a side hop and just mash A and I open the door and I can go inside.
Okay. You have to go out of bounds, then jump barely back in bounds to open the door at the same time.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Okay. Here's the mini boss.
So this guy is really easy to kill if you don't mess up any of the movements. So we'll see if I mess up any of this. So you want to run up close to him to be able to like have him throw the ball and chain. There we go. That was fast. Okay.
That was the whole thing?
That was the whole fight. Yeah, it's because you if you land the spin attacks in, it's pretty heavy damage on him. So
wow.
Yeah, if you mess up any of that movement, then it's really tough to back up because then you have to time, you know, how he's swinging it around his head. You have to time that out. And again, the only reason why we're in here is because of the one phase of the Zant fight that absolutely needs to have the ball and chain.
So because you have to get it for that phase, do you use this item any other time in the run?
Yeah, I use it because it's faster to use it if you already have it. Yeah. But like we'd be able to skip it in every other spot except for Zant. Which is
super strong.
Hilarious.
Oh, so that's one of your spots where you got the orange rupee.
Right, exactly. So we're going to get the first one there, and then there's one more at the front, and then we're going to go, hopefully, kill Morpheal first try. Which is a pretty tricky part of the run. We'll see how it goes here. So
Wii Virtual Console sometimes has less load times. It really all depends on the game and the version.
Yep, exactly. So that was a rupee text skip right there, if you jump over it on the side.
Oh, that's cool.
So now Lakebed 3. So now we're going to finish up Lakebed Temple, and then we'll be able to move on to Arbiter's Grounds.
All right, which is your other favorite.
Yep. And then it'll be our little break point.
Sweet.
So this might... remember how I said Lakebed is my favorite dungeon? It's because of this one trick that I'm going to do here to get into the Morpheal room.
Okay.
So right now, it's a little tricky, this jump. Nice. Okay, so then I'm going to play in the water here. Just get rid of all my bombs. Whoops. That's pretty funny. And then come up here.
Oh, they just like voided out.
And grab the water bombs. And this is for Morpheal. I'm going to do a safety save here just in case Morpheal is not cooperating here.
Sure.
So we're going to do a little safety save just to make sure that we have all 10 bombs. And then make our way in the boss. So this is tricky because we don't have the Zora armor. So if I mess up like almost anything in this fight, it will add for danger of me drowning. So I just need to be super careful here.
Right. Okay.
So I'm going to do a specific LJA here to jump on the side of the stairs here.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm actually going to... So I'm going to get...
Okay, so what are you doing at the moment?
So right now I'm doing a boss key skip. So I'm going to clip into these stairs by sliding down here. And then do a backflip. Then spin attack. 1, 2, 3, and then hold direction. Then boom, we're in. So now that's my favorite trick in the run right there. So now we're inside of
that's the boss key
boss area. And the reason why we only do the boss key skip for this dungeon is because the boss room is inside of that little room. You're like not able to do it anywhere else. Because because like the load trigger is only able to be accessed with boss keys in other areas.
Wow. Gotcha.
So now,
you have to make sure you don't run out of air.
Yeah, this is funny because you barely have enough air to get to the ground here, just in general, without the Zora armor. Like, it barely works.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so now it's going to refill my air. And then this is pretty scary fight here. So now I'm going to do a air refill. So I'm going to get a bomb ready. And now we're on phase 2 already because we have the Master Sword and it does a lot of damage.
Oh, right. You have it early.
Because usually you don't have Master Sword here.
Mm-hmm. That's so
now
nice.
it's time to just hopefully not drown. The reason why this is tricky is because a lot of this is luck-based on where Morpheal is going to swim.
Right.
So you have to compensate for like the direction. Okay, so now we're going to equip Iron Boots, get ready for our air refill. Now we just refilled our air. Okay, that was pretty good. So it came right up to me. So now I'm going to unequip Iron Boots here so that I get launched off the eye instead of hanging on. And then I can re-equip Iron Boots and Water Bombs and sink to the bottom to give myself an air refill. Because I have to, this is an almost required air refill. You can actually do this with 1 air refill, but I'm going to do it with 3 just to be safer.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now this is okay, I think. Nice, okay.
Nice. Very nice.
So now I'm going to try and do a regrab here. I'm actually just going to do a regrab. Nice, got it. First try, let's go. Nice. We got it. So then you barely have enough air there to just get the final hit in, and then there you go. That's the boss. You're
supposed to, like, that's a required number of hits for that second phase. Like,
right. Like so you have to do 3 hits no matter what, even if you have Master Sword there. Mm-hmm. Like 3 cycles of hits, I guess. So,
right.
Yeah. Wow, we're getting a lot of these tough tricks first try. I'm kind of surprised.
First try.
So,
it's so nice, though.
Yeah.
You're doing awesome.
So this is basically the halfway point. So if we need to take a break, do whatever, that's probably the best places right here. So
before we move on to the cutscenes.
Right, exactly. So I'll just
Okay.
hang out in here
Perfect.
while we wait for a break. Oh.
I agree, chat. That was great. Definitely deserves claps. Okay, cool. So this is going to set up right here, and then we're just going to take a quick break. I think we're going to pause the timer as soon as you say it's okay, Pope.
Yep.
Since we're breaking.
Just right when I grab this heart, it's probably a good place to start it.
Okay.
Or
so you're actually getting this heart container.
Yeah, I have to get, like, you can beat this entire run with just 3 hearts, but it is so difficult toward the end. You just take so much damage that I'm going to be grabbing these heart containers.
Sure. Cool. So you just let us know when to pause, then we'll take a quick wellness break, everyone, just so we can get up, stretch legs, you know, for wellness, for your health.
Go ahead and pause. We're good.
Perfect. So then we'll be back in just a few minutes. Thank you all so much for being here. This has been amazing. It's so wonderful to have you all. I'm loving the runs. Pope, you're doing an awesome job. Again,
this is awesome. This is fun.
Yeah, this is great. So we'll be back in just a few, and then we can see the second half of this run. Super cool. Hello, we are back with some more that's never happened before. We are in the middle of the Twilight Princess speedrun, and I don't think there's much to say other than we are going to get back into it. So, you ready for me to count down, Pope?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then we'll start the timer again. So, the next half of the run is coming up in 3, 2, 1, go.
Perfect. Okay.
That was a nice break.
So we are done with a lot of the hard stuff. I'm feeling a lot better now. The fact that we didn't drown there is pretty huge. So
it's awesome. You did great.
So now we're going to go into the little Midna segment that everyone loves.
Yeah.
Midna's Lament. So it's funny because you're not supposed to be human here right away. So you start as human and then you have to change to wolf.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because that's like already happening. Oh, and that's a skippable cutscene, so we're all good.
Right, exactly. Only thing I don't like about this is they prioritize the enemy music over the Midna music. I figured that it'd be better if they just turned that part of it off.
I agree. Yeah, I always try to avoid enemies because of that too. So what's the next thing coming up for us to look out for in terms of tech?
So the next thing is obviously we have to bring Midna to Zelda. And then the first thing we're doing is, if you remember that the Howling Stone that I was at, it's that wolf on the left right there, up on the ledge.
Oh yeah, right there.
We have to learn the final blow from that wolf, because that is the only way to land the final hit on Ganon at the end.
Right.
So we are going to do that and then head into Arbiter's Grounds after that, which is my favorite casual dungeon to do. It's honestly, it might be my favorite overall. I have a hard time between Lakebed and that.
And we've already done some Snowpeak. That all we need to do, and
so all that's left is Arbiter's Grounds in full. We're gonna do the whole thing, and then we're gonna do all of City in the Sky. Right. And then we're going to do just Palace of Twilight, and then Ganon. So
nice. So now we actually see not full dungeons, but
we're gonna get to see some bosses and stuff now, which is pretty cool. This half of the run is usually more entertaining than the first because there's a lot more going on. So
for sure, like this goofy cat.
I love that you can talk to the animals in this game. You can actually talk to the frogs by the river in the Ordon Village, which is pretty cool.
And you can pick up the dogs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's always everyone's favorite.
Always try to steal them. Want them.
I saw you were doing a Zelda 2 playthrough right now, by the way. How's that going?
It's tedious.
Zelda 2 is an experience.
Yeah, well, I actually really appreciate all these really, really early references. I understand because of my experience playing Zelda games, like the kind of hints that people offer in the game. I'm like, oh, I think I get what this is going to mean. This is the item for this dungeon. Right. But that's because I know how Zelda games work, right? So there's some things that I'm taking to retroactively use mentally, and then and there's some concepts that they introduce in it that are actually pretty cool. But yeah, otherwise it's tedious.
I personally have never played through the whole game, and right now I have an ongoing bet with a friend where I have to play through that game. If he does, or if he streams every day for a month, then I have to play through the game.
Okay.
So we'll see how that turns out. I guess he's getting pretty close here. But
play it on the Switch because there are save states, and they're really great.
Really? Oh my.
Oh yeah, play it on it's the NES Online.
Yeah.
There's save states, and then also that poor cat frozen.
I know, right?
Gold.
On top of his head.
But yeah, do that, and then just expect that, like, yeah, it's tedious, but otherwise, like, it's not so bad. I don't know, like, figuring out how to fight enemies based on your.
I'm definitely more of a
setup is interesting.
Console, like 3D Zelda sort of person.
Same here. Yeah.
But I've been meaning to try out. Like, I've never played Link to the Past, even. So
it's fun. It's a good game.
I kind of want to try that out and see how that is. Okay, so you can actually change to human here because we Master Sword early here, and you just use your lantern instead of carrying up that stick. So
she's supposed to be down and out.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh no.
So we're gonna deflect this guy's arrow here, or not, and then jump on him and wait. Is he in the ground? Oh, that was weird. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. I have to get rid of him, or else he will shoot me on the rope there.
I gotcha.
And make your way up. I love the tightrope walking in this game. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. A very talented wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess while we have a sec, it's cool to go back and play older Zelda games, even though they are quite a different style.
Yeah.
Just understanding like the era that they came in. Being
exactly.
Game.
Yeah. Where it started.
And like it gives you more patience for that. It's just it's definitely a completely different experience, and it's cool. Like it's cool to kind of have it all under your belt. So definitely give them a try.
I think the biggest thing for me is, especially for the newer ones, I've never been a fan of like handheld consoles like DS. So, you know, some of them are on DS, so that's probably a big reason why I haven't tried some of them. But make your way across here. All right. So now Minna is cured, and we can get our wolf move here.
Awesome. Perfect. Now keep going. Yeah, so you're learning the one move that you need, and then warping back down to Lake Hylia, right?
Correct, yep. And then we're gonna get in the cannon and go to Arbiter's Grounds.
And you already have your 300 rupees.
Yeah, but I don't need that. That's not until City in the Sky.
City in the Sky, right.
Right, I have to collect more in Arbiter's Grounds to get to 300.
Yeah, Arbiter's Grounds you get from, it's like the favor.
I have to collect, I have to collect some red rupees from the zombies, the re-deads in there.
Right.
To cap out at the 300 or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay. This is another thing that I just cannot believe that you have to get this. Like, the only way that we're going to be able to skip this is if we either find a SRM in this game to give ourselves this early without having to do the cutscene stuff here, or a credits warp. Like, those are the only two options here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to learn it.
It doesn't take a super long time compared to some other things that you need to get at the very least.
Exactly.
So, not a huge deal. I think this was one of my favorite Ganon designs, like human Ganon. I think it's
definitely.
Yeah.
So if you notice here, it puts me back at the woods because usually you're forced before you go into Forest Temple to go to the Golden Wolf there. Like that's always the spawn for the first one. But because I did the forest escape, I just went to a different one, but it puts me back in that spot.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna just go up here. I love this music, it's so good. Soundtrack in this game is just so good.
That's Zelda for you.
So the only reason that we had to do those Twilight sections is to get the piece of paper from this guy to go over to the desert.
That's it?
Yeah, like we just have to get this piece of paper that tells Fire down there to send us to the desert.
It's so funny that there are all these sections. Well, would you be able to interact with Fire if you hadn't?
Yeah, like you can talk to him, but the only option is to shoot up to that other mini game where you fly down with the cuckoos.
Right. But you can do that even with the Twilight still there.
Not when the Twilight's still there. No, you have to clear it.
Okay, so you would have to at least clear this one for that.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so I guess there's more than one thing. Because I was like, you could get this paper another way, but then you still have to be able to get him to shoot you over.
It's just like funny to me how close some of these skips are, but there's just one thing that's blocking it in like every single spot.
Exactly. Okay.
We'll make our way down here.
So when does the next glitch come into play in this game?
We're gonna see one as I'm entering the Bulbin camp right before the Arbiter's grounds. There's a big one.
Great.
So show him the paper. Yep. Send us over. Also, sour please in the chat here. This is the best desert music, in my opinion. So I'm doing that same camera trick where I look above because it reduces like some lag or whatever.
Makes sense.
And I just make my way up to top part of the desert here.
There's just like loading less in front of you for that, or is it? Yeah,
like if I do this, do you see how it lags a little more, like in the distance like that? If I do the camera down, it doesn't have to do that. So this is something we can do with the ball and chain. We don't have to have the ball and chain for this, but you'll see coming up here, I'm able to knock down one of these pillars to get past the gate with the ball and chain.
Okay. This should be fun.
All right, so right here. So we can go right up to this pillar. Normally we could just get on one of the boars over there, but you can just knock it down here. And then you can actually just run right past this thing. I still don't know how this works. But you can squeeze right on through that. Yeah.
That's great.
So now we're gonna do that map glitch again, where back with the reekfish thing going up the snow mountain, we're gonna do another map glitch here to unload the void so we can pass all the Bulbin camp here. So I'm gonna unplug my controller again.
Right, and then you hold.
I hold the map and Midna.
Midna at the same time. Awesome.
There we go. And then I do a fake warp. I change to human. So now the load zones are gone. Yeah.
That's
so now
awesome.
I can't leave the area unless I activate this middle section. So now I'm gonna do a setup here where I get on this wall. Then I do another LJA up here. Barely make it on that. So now because the void is gone, I can just jump down here towards the center, and it will load the gate area.
Whoa.
And I can just skip the entirety of it and fight Shrek here.
Do you call him Shrek?
Yeah, that's Shrek and Donkey. He's got his donkey over there. Perfect. There we go. That's it.
All of the GDQ. I'm sorry. The GDQ Hotfix shows are uploaded on the YouTube as well, so you can go check YouTube and see all of these shows too.
Nice. Is that just on the? That's on the GDQ YouTube, right? Just the.
Correct. So it should be youtube.com/ wait. I had a thing. I was yeah. You can just go to youtube.com/gamesdonequick. Easy peasy.
All right, Donkey, let's go.
Sorry, I find that really entertaining.
I love it. I just think these things are so funny. It's like so out of place.
I agree.
All right, into Arbiter's Grounds we go. The probably potentially best dungeon in this game. There's a lot of very cool tricks we do in this run, or in this temple.
Yep, can't wait to see it. All right, set us up for the first one.
Okay. So we're gonna end up getting the spinner and killing the boss. So we're doing most of this dungeon.
You need a spinner for a few things in this game.
Yeah, I wish it had more uses, to be honest. Oh, I just voided out. My bad. I've never done that.
That's never happened before?
That's never happened before. That's actually true, right there.
Let's go. Okay.
We finally
All
said
right, I
it.
hope that happens once every show, every episode. So far, we're good.
You gotta be kidding me, dude. Oh my gosh. Twice in a row.
Wait, it's too much. Wait, the energy's too strong.
Yeah, I know. It's cursing, finally. I'm gonna see if there's hearts here. Is there any back here? No, we're fine. I'll make it across. Said the thing. Hop on up. There's a heart. All right, I'm gonna take this a little slower here. Nah, we'll just change to wolf, whatever. Wolf is better on the sand here because you can jump or not. Oh man, no way! Oh my god, what am I doing? That's hilarious. That's so funny. We're just gonna have to casually go around here. That has never happened before. Right there, what you saw. Let me see if there's more hearts over here.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Okay, I will make it across this time, I believe. Of all the hard tricks I've done, this is our little roadblock here.
It's the true nemesis.
There we go. Okay.
There you go.
That's funny. I need to practice that later, Rob. That's something that I would have never thought to practice.
Yeah.
Okay, so then now we make our way over here. Get the key. I knew this run was going too well. I knew it. There's something that was going to happen.
I feel like that's always the case.
Yeah. Eventually, it's just the funny stuff that happens. You know? All right, so this is another big mystery of this game, this Poe door. So I'm able to skip the first Poe, but it checks for, I think, it's either the final one or the final three that it checks. So I'm gonna do a Poe 1 skip here, but currently there is no way to get past this door unless you use a trick that I believe takes about 7 hours to do, or more. So the way it works is if you're holding a rupee in your hand, over time, Link will barely go backwards, like barely. So if you can eventually just sit there and wait until you get through this door. This is what the low percent category does. You just have to sit there.
Right.
I think it's a 24-hour speed run. But you just sit there and wait until Link gets through the door. And currently, that is the only known way to get through that door, which is. I just love it. I love how there's these little things that happen. I'm gonna get rid of these guys.
Yeah. So I guess like realizing that there is a movement speed on the rupee is probably the way that they were like, well, let's just try it and see if we can get to the door with it.
Right, exactly. So right
There you
here,
go.
I'm gonna do another LJA to get to this thing, and then roll up and jump on that. So that's the Poe one
Oh.
skip right there. Man, that's
Wow, that
way
was
harder
fast.
to do than that first room. That's funny that that happened.
So that last one you didn't even aim. You just
Yeah, the last one, you don't have to aim as long as it's like over. The only reason why I aim sometimes is because I need to do it in a very precise spot, but sometimes you don't have to do that depending on the location
Okay.
of the boomerang. And also the ball and chain is busted, as you just saw.
I was about to mention.
Yeah, it's like instantly just dying.
That's so nice.
All right, so now going to our first Poe.
At least it helps a little. Like at least once you have it and go out of your way to get the ball and chain, you have some things you can do with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the Forest Temple replica here from OOT with the 4 Poes surrounding or whatever. This whole dungeon's like that. It's like you have to get the 4 Poes to advance to, you know, the next part of the dungeon.
Yep. Yep.
So there we go. These things are pretty horrifying for a kid's game, I'm not gonna lie.
I agree. There's some really scary stuff in Zelda games. Like,
Yeah.
I find redeads to be personally horrifying.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like these things look like Dementors from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They like
yeah,
made them
for
look
sure.
very similar to that. Mm-hmm. So now I have
Also,
to
like,
learn the Poscent here because for some reason you have to know the Poscent to pull up on one of these levers coming up here. Like you're not able to like grab it unless you learn the Poscent. So
Because you're supposed to use it to get to see it in the first place.
right. Like you're supposed to
Okay.
kill the first Poe in the first room to be able to advance to the next area. But now,
Was that just a small skip you did, jumping over to this section?
yeah. So because I'm coming from the opposite direction, I can just jump down in here and go back to this main area. I went into that one area there so I could grab that red rupee, and
Right.
we're coming up on 300 rupees here actually. So
Nice.
number one here, we're just gonna run past this Poe that from the first room here every time. We're just gonna sprint past him. There it is. We're just gonna. So this is the lever that I was talking about. You can't grab this unless you have the Poscent.
Really weird.
Now go in here. So here is our first redead. Nice.
That was also horrible.
The wolf can kill him really fast too with that like charge attack, whatever it is. Pretty cool.
That's faster than ball and chain?
On those guys, yes, I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay.
And then you just come up here.
Okay.
We're gonna get our second Poe in this room.
It's pretty straightforward so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is just like that. The first major skip is that very first like big jump that I did. Now we're gonna
Yeah, that was crazy.
get this guy, and then these skulls are a little annoying. Hit him twice here.
Just kind of keeping him in a corner seems like a good strat to make that fight go faster.
I think my internet's been doing better, I guess. My internet, like, I just built a new computer, so my internet's been trying to figure out how to handle the power of my new computer, I think. So. All right, so now we're gonna go back out, and then we got one more Poe, and we can go into the next area.
Can't skip.
Yeah.
Another light come in. So you'll get 3 of them and then just
Yeah, 3 of
Move
them will
on,
open the
right?
door. You don't have to get the first guy here. We're just gonna run right past him again.
you just leave it.
Yep. We run past
Okay.
this guy like 2 or 3 times, and he's like, okay, I mean, I guess you're just not going to fight me then, or...
Like, all right, I guess see you later.
So now this is kind of funny. So we're going to run across the top. You're supposed to come from the other side, so we're going to unlock this door from the other side. You'll hear the lock open up here from this side.
Oh, weird. Oh, yeah.
We come down in here. Oops. Then I got a last Poe in this room. This room's a little tricky because there's just a lot going on in here with these enemies.
Yeah.
So I try to chain it. Yeah, so I hit him twice there and I knocked him out.
Oh, that's really nice.
So now I'm gonna hopefully open that up, grab this. So now we have 290. We're getting real close to the amount that we need. I'm actually gonna kill this other Redead here.
Does he'll give you enough?
Yeah, so he'll put us over the peak that we need here. So this is just like the backup guy in case I didn't have enough over the amount. So now we have 300 and we are ready to go for the cannon after this.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Okay. Whoa, close up. Okay. All right. Now it'll pick up a little bit in this dungeon. We're done with the pose.
Right. Doing like the can't skip necessary stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's coming up next then?
So next we're gonna go through the door that'll open and we're gonna go get the spinner. And then go
Perfect.
to the boss after that. We actually have to kill the middle boss, the Death Sword boss too.
Mm-hmm. In terms of the spinner, does it have other useful, like other uses outside of this
Yeah,
dungeon?
so in City in the Sky you have to have it because
Oh,
it'll
right.
make the bridges.
The bridges go
Yeah.
across.
So
Is that
we
the
got-
last thing you need it for?
Um,
Or do you use
and
it
you
again?
use it in Ganon's castle. You're able to actually skip it, but we have it so it's faster.
Okay, cool.
So this is pretty funny. You can actually just skip past that, jump up on this side, and get the boss key.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's like the reverse boss key thing there.
Just a little faster than
Mm-hmm.
getting the spinner.
So now we're gonna go get the spinner and kill Death Sword. I think this is my favorite mini boss. The Death Sword.
What makes it your favorite?
I just like the design of him. He kind of reminds me of like Voldemort.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
And
Yeah,
his like death animation kind of is similar to that too.
love how you just kind of skipped over. I
I
think
know.
there's probably one or two things in there we could have talked about, but it's again, this seems like more automatic and like
Yeah, a lot of this
nothing
is kind of just movement. You want to be Wolf when you're going across the sand because Wolf is not going to sink as easily. So right here is another
Right.
thing I'm going to do. I'm going to drop a water bomb here to kill this guy when he gets up, and then these two are also going to die if I place the bomb there. And you can actually just roll
Nice.
under that. And then those
then
other guys should be
it'll-
dead. There you go.
Wow, perfect.
Okay. And go here. I love the claw shot. It's such a cool item.
Oh yeah, always has been.
And then here is the Death Sword.
And that'll get us the spinner.
Mm-hmm.
I can see what you mean by like the kind of Voldemort-y, but then
Yeah, he's got like the cloak and all that.
yeah.
no.
And then there's like the antlers.
Yeah. Nice. So now
Oh, that was good.
we can actually lock him down here if we do a certain set of slashes so that he doesn't fly away again. Let's see if we get this. Nice, got it. Okay.
Nice. So is it timing partially for that as well?
Yeah, so it's just like if you do the 3 slashes, it'll keep him locked there, so he won't fly away.
Yeah. So you're not spamming it. That was like the specific timed.
Yeah, I have to like time it out.
Cool. Okay.
So then we get the spinner or the Beyblade, as everybody says.
Yeah, that's right.
Basically what it is. This is such a cool item.
I like it too. It's definitely underutilized.
Yeah.
Much like the ball and chain. Like a lot of the items in this game, I feel like you're like, hey, you know what's useful? The bow and the claw shot. Like,
yeah,
double claw shots. Like those are the things that you tend to use the most, especially casually in this game.
All right, so now we're
I know
going
it's
to fight
different
the
for the
boss.
speed run. So why the save and quit? Is it just a warp?
Yeah, it's a save warp. So it'll send you back to the start of the dungeon, and that just it makes it just easier to, and like less stuff that you have to do to get to the boss room if you do that. You just like run in a straight line here, pretty much.
Gotcha.
All right.
Oh yeah, you just go in here and get this ready to go.
And we already got the boss key just from running around backwards on that sand, so we are good to go.
In terms of like you do Majora's Mask and then you learn this. Are there any other Zelda games that you'd like to get under your belt at some point?
So I thought about Wind Waker for a bit, but I don't know how familiar you are with that run right now. It's got a it's called a manual super swim that you have to do at the start of it, where you it's like a bunch of frame perfect inputs right off the bat, and it's a little discouraging for me. But the reason why I like this game is because the intro doesn't really feel like an intro, just because there's tricks that you have to do from the start. So it helps a lot that you actually need to do things that aren't just extremely tedious.
Right. It feels more like immediately active.
All right, and into the boss we go.
There you have the key. All right. That's cool. If you did decide to pick up Wind Waker, would you have a specific category?
Probably 100%. I love 100% categories. So
agreed. Yeah.
And I have the time, and I'm able to do it, and I'm lucky for that. So it's fun to, and it fits well with my like OCD too, to just collect everything in the game.
Cool. Okay.
All right. So,
Yeah, I know that feeling. I definitely get that feeling.
So this guy's got a pretty cool design, honestly. Like I just like, if I were to make this item, the spinner, I don't know if I would have come up with a boss design for it. So this was pretty smart.
Yeah,
just all the stuff that he's doing here.
It's definitely a cool idea for a boss. A little something different.
Yeah. Oops.
Oh.
So I have to backflip out of here.
Otherwise, will you like sink in and void out, or like what is?
I don't know if you void out or not. I haven't even gotten to that point.
Oh.
So this first phase is a little tricky.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this definitely seems faster to do it that way.
Let me grab a heart here if there's one. Okay. Oh my gosh, I thought that they were gonna be cut down the middle there. Whoops. There we go. Okay.
There we go. Okay. Let me go into phase 2.
So this phase 2 actually has a fast fight. I'm gonna see if I can land it. So I use a music audio cue here.
Okay.
There's a very specific part of the song where you need to put the spinner on, and what it does is it makes him go right next to you. So we will see if I can get this here. It's kind of precise, but I'm a music-oriented person, so I love using these like audio cues for this.
So every time, so like you'll get the hit and then it'll reset and then you wait for a music cue and then.
Right. And then if I hit him, then I just have to make sure that I get my spin attacks in, and then we should be good.
Cool.
All right.
Sweet.
Let's see if we nail this here.
And then it's off to City in the Sky, right?
Yep. And then after that, we're basically almost done. Just got a couple things left. Oh, here we go. Got him, nice.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. That's fast.
Nice. Got it. Okay.
And that was it, just the one cycle.
Yeah, that was it. So if you miss a spin attack there, he'll fly away and you'll have to like go up the tower and stuff. So
Oh, so you only do, like, that sound cue won't work more than once?
right, you can only do it once. So if you miss it,
I didn't
then you
realize
have
that.
to go all the way at the tower and all that.
Gotcha.
All right, so the reason why we do this dungeon in the first place is to just get to the Mirror of Twilight, because we have to defeat the Twilight to get to Howard Castle.
Right.
So I'm gonna grab this heart because I always have low health at the end of this run, so we're totally gonna grab this. Then it is off to the last regular dungeon.
Because no need for Temple of Time. That gets you the control-y, like the wand.
The Dominion Rod, yeah.
Yeah, the Dominion
So-
Rod, thank you. And then
So it's funny.
we'll be able to...
So I can skip the Temple of Time because of it's actually the biggest sequence break in the entire run. I'll show you after I do
Awesome.
this part.
Yeah. That's what we want to hear on this show.
Yeah. It just skips so much. And the quests like right before with the books too, it gets rid of all that stuff.
Awesome.
Which is kind of boring in my opinion. So I'm glad that it gets rid of that part.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
There we go. Okay. So now what I'm doing here is I'm going to warp to Kakariko Village. But for some reason, if you don't... So I'm not going to watch this cutscene here. I'm actually going to try... So if you try to warp and just press portal, it says, like, Link, we have to go to the Mirror of Twilight. But if you just press A and zoom in and then press portals after that, it'll bring up the portals for some reason.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so then you can just go right away and you don't have to, like, go all the way up to the top of that. It skips all that.
Gotcha.
All right, biggest skip in this entire run coming up right here. It skips
Okay.
an entire dungeon and a quest line.
So we're basically going to get behind the
The little statue thing
blocking
without the
the-
rod. Yep.
Yeah, the statue. All right, set us up.
See if we can do this first try.
Also, we don't talk to Ilya once in this, right?
No, you don't see her once in this entire run. It's pretty
Oh,
funny.
that's so nice.
It's pretty funny, honestly.
I love it. That makes me happy because she's my least favorite
Yeah.
Zelda female.
Oh, we missed it. Okay, so now I have to.
Okay, explain. Can you take a second, like set us up for this?
Yeah. So basically, all I'm doing here is you see how there's like a gap right here. So I'm basically
Right.
positioning Link in a way that I can change to wolf, and then the wolf will be halfway in the crevice here to be able to push past it. It's a little finicky. There's not like any real good setup for it. Oh, that was a bad attempt. All right, I'm gonna try this angle over here. Oh man.
Being picky.
Yeah, it is. Eventually it works. It just takes a lot of bonking. Maybe? There we go. Okay.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So you just push right past it, and that skips all the Temple of Time and the other quests, like right before City in the Sky. So we're gonna bring this to the lake, and then we're going to use those rupees to build it, and then we're off to the dungeon.
Awesome. Do you know if that skip's possible in the HD version?
I've never tried it. I would imagine it is.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I've never tried it myself, so I have no idea.
All right. I think chat seems to think so.
Okay.
This is possible in the same way? Okay.
Okay. I like this guy's outfit. He's got a good outfit.
Their cosplay incoming?
I just wonder. Oh my! I didn't even think about that, but that'd be a funny cosplay. I could probably do the other guy, the one that's at the top. He looks similar to him, but he's like taller and skinnier. That'd be pretty funny.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That would
fit.
be funny.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the only reason why we're going to this dungeon is because the game checks for the last mirror shard. So we have to kill this boss to go into the Palace of Twilight.
I see. Okay.
I'm going to equip the iron boots because we're going to get some backup water bombs here. And then here we go. Just freaking out. I love these things so much.
Oh, man.
This is typically people's least favorite dungeon, but the speedrun of this is so much better. Because
Yeah,
there's
that
so
makes
many
sense.
like LJAs that we do with the boomerangs that we skip so much of it.
Can't wait to see.
Yeah. I'm going to save at the beginning of this too.
Sure. There's the boss.
Mm-hmm. I love these sound effects. They're so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is a very interesting dungeon overall.
Yeah, it is. Like, these are in place of the cuckoos for this dungeon, I guess. Well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get water bombs over here. This is just going to be a backup for the Xant fight, because the Xant fight, I will need to go underwater. And I want to make sure I have enough bombs to be able to get enough refills if I need to back it up. So we're going to grab these. So I should have plenty after that.
So what's the first thing that we're going to be doing to skip something in here?
So the first big thing, we're going to do some like LJAs with the boomerang. And then the first big thing is we're actually going to enter this big fan room in a certain way that the big fan doesn't activate.
Oh.
You have to enter it from like far back, and what happens is you can skip like so much of the dungeon just by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so simple. So if you guys ever decide to play this game casually and you hate this dungeon, my suggestion is to do what I'm doing here. I'll explain what I'm doing.
Okay. First of all, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know, it's cool to just do that. So I'm gonna safety save here in case I mess this up. It's very, very easy. I just want to make sure, because if I mess this up, I'd have to do it casually. And I'm not going to lie, I don't know how to do this dungeon casually. I can't remember. So what you do is you place your feet on the top of this diamond-looking thing on the floor. And if you change to wolf and don't press anything, just press A, you're entering the door from a certain position where this top fan is not going to activate. So it's off now. So if I were to open that with human, it would be on. But now it's just off. So we can just skip a majority of the dungeon.
What a small, easy find. So you're going straight to the... Oh, no, you're not going out to the top of it yet. Is it off for good?
So the first thing I have to do is get the double claw shots before I go to the top.
Okay.
I'm like not able to get up there unless I have that.
When you go back into the room, will the fan still be off?
Yeah, it'll be off the whole time.
Wow, okay. So it's like permanently off now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's kind of funny because like what you saw is exactly how you do it. There's no like funny button that I'm pressing or anything to get that to work.
Well, that's really nice. Again, for anybody who's like curious about how this works or like wanting to learn this game or just really wants to skip this dungeon in particular, you know, there you go.
It's fun to just know about that kind of stuff, just to bypass some of the boring stuff, you know?
Exactly. As is what's cool about this show.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to get this key over here, which we're going to open the door on the other side. Grab this.
Isn't this a room that has a really long chain of like hookshotting all the way down and then across?
Yeah, I don't know if that's this room, but there's one at the end where you're going up to the boss, the big fan room, where you have to do the double claw shot thing back to back a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's one, I think that was the room there. We have to like go all the way down to like the bottom and then over and then back up to another room. And
right, yeah. So right here, I'm actually doing a cutscene skip here. Usually the big boss will come down and break the bridge, but if you do this, you can skip the trigger for that. And so now he can't like break the bridge just because I did that.
How much time does that save as well?
That's like a good 2 minutes probably, because you'll have to go around and do some other funky stuff that I'm not too familiar with. But I'm pretty sure it's a like a 2-minute time save if you do that.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm gonna go on this side and use the spinner over here again.
That's a really big save. Time save.
Yeah. There's so many things in this dungeon that you can skip. It's like kind of a relief that you don't have to do a lot of this dungeon in the run. Mm-hmm. Because it's casually probably my least favorite, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for those who are asking in chat, yes, this is live. This will be on YouTube after, though. So anybody watching on YouTube, hello.
Yes, this is live.
You're great.
Hello.
Thanks.
This is not a recording. Hello.
Yes. Only be recording when it's on YouTube. But right now, we are live.
Okay, so we're going to do more boomerang stuff here. Ooh, that barely made it over.
Yeah.
And this is also some fun movement. So there's that. Oh, I barely made that one. Wow.
Yeah.
Messed that one up. And then one more right here. There you go.
Just constantly using the
I know, I love
boomerang
it.
for this.
That's so busted. Mm-hmm. So we're almost to the double claw shot. The double claw shot fight has a pixel perfect shot. I'm gonna see if I can hit it. It's like literally 1 pixel on the target. And you're on a timer too, because the guy will like hit you if you don't do it in time.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
This show, right now, it's a once-a-month show. It might change to be more frequent in the future, but for the first couple episodes, we're just trying it out. One Saturday a month.
And you said there's other shows like similar to this, right? With other hosts.
Yeah, so there's a lot of GDQ Havoc shows to check out. I think we have 16 shows at the moment.
16? Wow.
I think so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we need to double check on that. But last time I remember, I think that was the number. So there's shows about all kinds of different things, like challenge runs, like weird speedrun categories, head-to-head, like face-off sort of things, all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of fun shows to catch on GDQ Graphics.
So this is my absolute favorite part of the run right here.
Okay. Oh my God.
It's just very dramatic.
I've never thought to do that before.
Yeah, they just gave us the opportunity there to use the little dude to help us down there. Mm-hmm. All right, so this is the pixel perfect shot fight. So hopefully we can nail this here. If not, we'll have to fight him regularly.
Okay. Yeah, can you explain, like, lead us into it?
Yeah, so before I go down there, what's going to happen is I'm going to do some slashes to get in a very specific spot on the ground, and then I have to quickly aim before he attacks me. So I have to do it all in one motion. Got it, nice. Okay.
Oh, that's so nice.
So you can just skip the entire fight that way.
Yeah, I don't like that mini boss. So.
These guys are hard to beat.
Can you define LJA? Because I know it's a boomerang skip. I forget what the term means.
Yeah, LJA is long jump attack. That's what it's called.
There you go. Long jump attack.
All right, so then we're gonna do a save and quit, and then we're gonna end up at that small key chest from before. Perfect. Some cool movement there. And then we are on our way to the boss key and then the boss. And we are kind of nearing the end.
It's cool, like, the skips in this one are saving so much time, but they don't seem... Like you were saying, there's some really, really, really precise stuff earlier in the run. I feel like this is a bit less precise. Like, these are a bit easier to...
Yeah, this is a...
nail.
Like, this game just in general is more linear than Majora's Mask, especially for, like, the speedrun. It's just... Like, what you're seeing is, like, way more self-explanatory than Majora's Mask. It's like...
Yeah.
You know, MM is just way more detail behind the scenes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, for those asking, yeah, I'm a big Zelda fan in general, so not only do I replay Zelda games, but I like watching the runs, so that's why I have some information about these already.
All right, so then we're going to get in a specific spot here to skip all that top section.
Wow.
And then we're going to do another LJA here to jump across. Nice, okay. Now we're at the boss room, or boss key.
Boss key, gotcha. Oh, that's right.
And the fan's already off, so we don't have to worry about that. And now we're going to the boss. This dungeon's cool in the speedrun. It's got a lot of these like boomerang long jump attacks.
Yeah, which it just really adds a lot to how much you can skip in this section. That's really nice.
All right, so this section is probably the coolest sequence of LJAs back to back. Because we have to jump across these fans when they're not moving. So it's a little spooky, but like usually you're supposed to use the double claw shots here to get from one to the next one. But if you do a LJA like this, nice, really made it. Okay.
Oh,
that's like really tight to make that jump. And then this is the last room before the boss. So we're just gonna skip these two. Go right up.
No need to fight them.
Actually, I have to do this room kind of fast in order to make the fan cycle here.
I got you.
So
yeah, cycles in games can be...
Yeah, it's just a lot of like fast aiming. There we go.
Right.
One.
They can be very quick time losses if you're not careful.
Yep.
Just in any game.
Like that right there. So I have to just wait for it to roll around now. It's not the end of the world, but it's nice to be able to nail that. So now we get that. Nice. Okay.
Oh, wow.
We got this one.
Nice.
And there we go.
Perfect.
And then into the boss room we go. And then this next boss, it's not hard if you know what you're doing, but it's kind of scripted in a way where to do it quickly, you can't mess up any of the steps. So I'll explain what I'm doing as I like do it, but it's definitely like a back-to-back. You like don't want to miss a step sort of thing.
Yeah, you just tell us what's happening and I'll just let you have time to focus.
So the first thing we do is we go up to the edge here. and do a nice claw shot all the way up here to skip all that, and we're basically at the top
wow.
now. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so the first thing we do here is we need to run over to the side here so that the Argorak will, do a little cycle over there and then come back in the center. I need to remember my claw shots on the X button here because after this first part, I need to do something really fast with it, and I've lost runs to just forgetting what button they're on. So claw shots on X. All right, so here's first hit. We got to pull him down twice here to get rid of his armor. So now I have to do a very fast shot onto this gate behind me so that he stays on the ground.
Okay.
So that should work. Nice, okay. So now we can just pull him down again. So that's phase one.
If you get that like shot onto the wall at the right time, he just kind of...
He just like hangs out on the ground. I don't know why it does that, but otherwise
Weird.
he would be flying up into the top parts of these claw shottable things. Okay, so next is just gonna be a lot of stuff back to back. So I'm gonna very quickly go to the top of these pillars, and there's just very specific timings and movement on the claw shot things here. And if I miss one of them, I'm just gonna have to take it slow for these hits. Right. So the first thing we do is we actually have to jump off the side here to reset the little cycle thing.
Yeah, and then it's just really tight timing all the way up, right?
Yeah, like the rest of the fight here is I have to hit him 3 times, but it's like kind of tight timing on all of it. So aim up to the top.
Gotcha.
So right when he screams there, I shoot the thing, the claw shot. Okay, so there I wait till the fire is almost to me. Then it's 3 shots, and then I should be far enough behind where I can hit. There we go.
Nice. Nice.
So I just have to repeat that.
Just making sure you get high enough on the towers, quick enough to get up to those hovering enemies, and then
exactly
a specific number of shots to get up onto the back, and there you go.
Okay, that'll be fine. I'm just gonna do 4. I should be able to make it on this.
Usually that fire, like the fire breath, lasts a little longer, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I wait for it to go close to me because that's what triggers it to like stop. So if it gets close, that reduces the timer on it.
That's awesome.
Okay, so one more hit. This one's a little more complicated. I have to do some different little movement here when I go up.
Okay.
So it's 1, 2, 3, and then I have to wait till the fire is over this guy here. And I start sinking down. And then as soon as he blows fire, I press the boots again. And then there we go. And that's it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then it just like cancels out his flame animation.
Right.
Nice. That was
and
good.
Now he's done. Yeah, so the pace for the run, keep in mind, is not going to be close to his PB time because he's taking extra like minutes to slow down anytime he's going into like a complicated glitch or just explanation of anything, so we can learn more about it.
This is still going very, very well. Like I've only been writing this for a month, and I think that this has been pretty good so far.
I swear I've seen you doing it for at least like 2.
No, I started this in like mid-December for my first run, so it's been.
Wow, you've come really far already.
A month. My entire life is just practicing this game.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's very, very fun to learn.
Yeah.
I think it goes under the radar too for a lot of auto runs.
I agree. It's less common.
It's just long, you know. It's hard to find the time to run something that's this long, but
yeah. But again, like a lot of the most interesting categories are 100%. So
right, exactly.
You know. Yeah.
All right, to the mirror chamber we go. We're going to grab this heart because I need as many as I can have for the Palace of Twilight coming up. Or we call it the Palace of Time Loss. We usually call it.
Right. Okay, so what could cause the biggest time losses here?
It's just very small movement things. Like when I kill these mask Zant stuff, you have to do like specific attacks on them to be able to stun them and kill them, and it's real easy to just mess it up. So
okay,
it's right here. I'm gonna equip Iron Boost before I go in here because that way when I'm shot out of the cannon, I'm just gonna mash B so I can land on this bridge and not fall in the water. There we go. Nice.
cool.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, nice. I see.
Now we're going to the mirror chamber.
Here we go. We're going into Palace Twilight.
We're almost done. We got this, and then just Ganon's castle, and then we're done.
I know your community really likes the number 1, so can we get some ones in chat if
Yes,
you've enjoyed?
please. Can we please just press 1? I wanted to see the entire screen filled with 1s for this second.
You've been having a good time on this episode with Pope. Ones in chat.
This has
They're
been.
just gonna post 1 anyway. Sorry.
This has just been really fun. This whole experience. So thanks for having me on.
Of course, I know you've been such a great second guest. This is super cool. I'm getting so lucky.
Yeah, Talon did well on his
Yeah,
stuff, right? Yeah.
it was so fun. Oh my gosh, chat is flooded with ones. I see a 7 and occasionally a 2, but
Nice.
basically just ones.
Those are the rebels that gotta
Yeah.
play something different. All right, here we go.
Good job, chat. Glad
All
you're
right.
enjoying it.
So, the first step to this is we need to get both of these. They're called souls at the end of this. Oh, whoops! I messed it up already. See, there's time loss already. I have to wait for them to spawn again. There we go. But we're gonna take the 2 souls and bring them to the center to get the butter sword, the light sword.
A butter sword.
And the only reason we need that is because there's like a veil of Twilight that's like the
Right.
waterfall thing pouring down, and we have
You
to
can't
have
get
that
through
to
it.
get past it. Yeah. So I'm actually gonna see if we can get some hearts because it's real easy to die. Also, these hands are easily the most anxiety-inducing part of this.
100% agreed. I feel like speedrunning or casually, it's just, ugh.
Yeah. There we go. I can't tell if I'm more of a fan of Zant or Ganondorf in these runs. I think both of them are. Zant is a tougher boss to fight, but I really like the design of both.
I think, yeah, the design is cool. I think I like Ganon's design better because once you get to know more about Zant, and especially like once his little helmet comes off, he becomes a lot less intimidating, to, at least to me
Yeah, I
personally.
agree. I think when his mask is on, he's spookier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like got that air of, I mean, it's more intimidating, you know, that air of mystery.
Yeah, exactly. Like not knowing what he looks like until that
Yeah.
moment.
Right. And then he takes it off and you're like, I don't know, man. I'm just not intimidated anymore.
All right, so we have 2 Phantom Zant fights here. I'm actually going to listen. Okay. So I have to do 3 slashes so that he doesn't teleport around the room before he like throws his energy ball.
Okay.
Oh man, that's unlucky. Let me throw it.
It's really far.
Did I get it? Oh, I missed it barely.
No.
Oh no. No. Okay, he's gonna warp around a little bit. I got screwed a little bit on that.
Bummer.
This is why I got the extra health though, which is good.
Yeah. or hit some things.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, I was gonna say how many hits does he take on average?
Yeah, so you're just supposed to do it in 4 different cycles there. I just missed that last hit because of the enemies that spawn there.
Sorry, someone in chat said the Kylo Ren aesthetic, and I can't help but giggle at that.
Oh my god.
Okay, the hands are the worst.
Yep. Here we go. So luckily I know exactly where to go for it not to grab
Yes.
the ball. So that helps with the anxiety, I guess.
Yeah, makes it a lot easier.
All right. It has like a little sound effect when it's getting close to. That's like the music builds up, so it's like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like the Sonic drowning music. You know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're like, yeah, you're like,
Forgot
please.
about that.
Right.
Okay, so it's gonna pop out again here. And you can actually just throw this, and it should land in there.
Nice.
Perfect. Okay.
You go straight to the top. It's so useful. Oh, that one.
Oh,
right
that was
through
close. They almost hit me and made me drop it.
Ooh.
Okay. So yeah, this first half, like bringing this first one over is a lot easier. Like these rooms are designed to not be as difficult as the second half.
Right.
Dodge those, and then we're good. All right, not too bad.
Like a third of the palace?
Yeah, because we have to do that last part. Yeah, we're probably a third done with the palace.
Yeah. You have to play this palace like mostly vanilla, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Because there's just like no way to get around that butter sword. It's just,
Yeah,
I don't know how we're ever going to
exactly.
find a way around that, but
Yeah.
the only way that we'll find a way around that, I think, is if we somehow skip the palace, which would require that barrier skip.
Yeah, the barrier to the Hyrule Castle.
So we're gonna do.
Wouldn't that skip a lot more?
Yeah. I'm just gonna stock up on some health there. All right, so these next rooms are a little trickier, not too bad, but a little trickier. I hope you guys have been enjoying this run. This has been very enjoyable to show off.
Yeah, it's really cool to watch. I mean, it's just, you know, you get the opportunity again to like see this at mainline GDQs or watch streams, but you know, it's like we have the intent here to actually like learn more just about what's going on and why.
Exactly. Yeah. I like being able to stop and explain what's happening rather than feeling the pressure of doing things super fast, you know?
Right. Right. I mean, because you want to get a good time, so you don't want to like,
Right.
you know, on your stream or for typical GDQ, you want to perform well and, you know, you don't want to stop. But for this, it's, you know, I'm just taking that time. I feel like I'm getting redundant.
So this next room, oh, I should have jumped down. But yeah, I just need to kill these guys, and then there's some masks in here, and then we'll get our last little small key. Okay, cool. Ah, whoops. There we go. Okay. Such weird enemies, these masks.
Yeah. I know it's like little phantoms, but they're, I don't know, it's hard to explain.
It's like a piece of Zant that you have to see before Zant. It's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna make our way up here. This is a use of the double claw shot too, why we need it to get up onto this ledge here.
Right, because is this the only instance that we use it?
Well, you have to do some of it like for that fan room as well.
Oh, right. That's right. I just thought about like you using the long jump attack so often that.
Oh yeah,
I
mean that helps quite a bit. The boomerang is by far the most important item, I would say, in this run.
Yeah.
All right, Phantom Zant number 2.
Yep.
And then we will be 2/3 of the way done, almost.
Is there any part of this palace you're able to skip, like grabbing key, like in the last third potentially?
It's kind of straightforward, to be honest. I mean, I know how to do parts of it faster, but it's kind of just a straightforward set of steps.
Right.
There
so
we
then
go.
what about in here, I'll let you focus and then we'll.
No, it's all right. He's gone.
Oh, that was fast.
Yeah, that time it went well.
Yeah. Then how about like in Hyrule Castle?
Yeah, Hyrule Castle's got some funny skips that I'm excited to show.
Okay, great.
All right, we got
Look how
hand
this
number
thing's
2.
like.
Okay. And this is kind of straightforward too. You just kind of have to run back with it.
Right, exactly. It's just a little bit more like stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I barely made it on that. Nice. Okay.
Especially for being so recent of a runner, this game, like you everything you're doing seems really smooth.
I put a lot of time. There was a day that I put a solid 15 hours of practice.
Wow.
Into this
I was
game.
gonna say you can tell you've been really grinding it out. Yeah.
I just find it to be like very entertaining to just go through a lot of the game, you know. I never realized how much I liked this game until I went on the speedrun.
I feel like a speedrun can completely transform the way that like we see a game. Because not only are you going to play it differently, but like the experience can feel really different.
Mm-hmm. All right, perfect.
Oh, you know, there's some bad games out there.
Oh yeah.
That are so fun to speedrun.
I definitely prefer my Zelda though. Like I know how to do Mario 64 as well, and it's really fun. But Zelda just so much more entertaining for me.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think everybody's gonna have things that they prefer based on like play style and.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right, making progress with this.
All right, so we are done with the sort of boring stuff here.
Yeah. the vanilla stuff.
Mm-hmm. The butter sword. I love how it just like cuts through the fog. So cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually really neat how it does that.
I love the little Twilight friendly people in here.
Yeah, they're really cool. I feel like the light like for the sword is basically the equivalent of it's just their excuse for not having like here's light arrows.
Yeah, exactly.
Put it on your sword.
That's like the light arrow replacement in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this next part is pretty linear except for the last room. I'm gonna do an early platform cycle that's pretty tricky. I need to have some good movement in that room, but we're almost to Zenith.
Okay.
I'm gonna toss these in here. And then hopefully dodge the squids.
I just realized how the patterns in this section, like in the Palace of Twilight, remind me so heavily of Breath of the Wild, actually.
Oh yeah, I can see that for sure.
Like there's a lot of like roll the ball into this little nook, and you know, all the glowing blue designs, like all of that. I just realized how similar that is.
This must have been where a lot of that came from, to be honest.
Yeah.
Nice, got the heart. And I love this sword because you can actually just one-shot these guys now.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I'm gonna get the key. I don't know if I'm a fan of the Palace of Twilight. It's cool, but it's definitely a bit slow.
Yeah. Yeah, like you were saying, closer to the beginning of the run, I feel like it's very few people's favorite.
Yeah, it's like the color scheme. I think it looks a lot better on the HD version.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, the aesthetic is pretty cool. It's just the progression through it isn't as fun.
Exactly.
As some of the other ones.
Okay, so now I have to kill more masks out here to get the small key. So there's one, I don't know why they put this one all the way over there, but
yeah,
you have to like go all the way over there and get it, and then get the rest of them after that. And these trumpet birds are annoying.
I agree.
There we go.
And this part reminds me of Kingdom Hearts 1.
I'm playing through that game right now, and I'm enjoying it a lot. It's my first playthrough.
Yes. Oh, sweet. Okay. Well, then I won't say.
I am to the Aladdin level. I'm not very far, I don't think.
Okay. Feel free to just reach out when you're like, oh, I think I know what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry for spoilers, anyone that doesn't know about that level yet.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, that's totally a game I would have played as a kid, 100%. I just didn't own a PlayStation, so that's the biggest reason.
Gotcha.
I'm just a huge Nintendo
guy. Me too. We only had a couple of games on our PS2, and Kingdom Hearts just happened to be one of them.
I had to play PS2 at my cousin's house. I never owned one, so.
Right.
All right. Boss key it is. So then there's no way to avoid damage unless you go down the regular way. So we're going to just jump down, take a little damage, maybe get a heart if we can. I'm going to check some hearts here. There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
Grab the key, and then this next room is the room that I have to do things very fast in. It's the early platform room. So I'm going to see if I can make this platform.
Is there anything special you do to set up for this?
So it's really just getting to the top as fast as possible, because there's a platform on the top that goes back and forth, and it's kind of slow. So it's always going to be close to you if you do the correct movement here. So I'm actually going to call Midnight here and then cancel it, or not. There we go. That's fine. So that it like loads these guys a little faster. Okay. So I'm going to have a visual cue of when to jump here. And I'll jump early onto that. Ah, that's unlucky. Sometimes that happens, so I'm not going to make it now. Because this enemy sometimes will knock you like that. So we're going to have to wait, but it's not that big of a deal. It's this platform up here that'll end up back on this side if we do this fast. But
I got you.
And then after this, we're pretty much going to Zant, and we're good. Yeah, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to have to hang here. All right. And just hopefully not fall, and then we're almost there. Yo, anyone in chat that's been watching this whole time, thanks for coming and hanging out. This has been pretty fun to show for everybody.
Thank you for educating us and giving us some background on things. And
no problem.
Yeah. Again, it's been really chill as our Zelda runs, and it's just cool to learn more about what's going on. And it's for those who are interested in learning this, like they get to get some background things that can help them. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll see some new speedrunners here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Wow.
They just fall right on top of you. It's pretty funny.
We're getting ones in chat again.
Nice. All right, into Zant we go. Let's do it. So this fight is not hard except for the underwater phase. It's a little scary because you can drown. So I'm gonna be as careful as I can on that phase.
Also, I believe Pope said earlier, Hondo is around over 6 hours?
6.5 is the record right now. So it's long, but it's got a lot of fun stuff in it. So not as long as like Breath of the Wild, thankfully.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody says, what's the biggest tip for the game if you're just passing through?
The biggest tip as in, I guess, like most important aspect of this run, I would say make sure you grab the boomerang because it is the most important item by far in this run.
Yeah. Based on even watching it as well, I would also say like learn those long jump attacks.
Yeah. All right, so Zant takes you to a bunch of the boss arenas. There's 6 total, I believe. So this is the Forest Temple.
All these bosses we fought, remember?
I know, right? And then this is another boss we fought. Look at this.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm basically just throwing my boomerang at him here to get him to go into the spot that I need him to go. Because like he'll do this jump attack here until he finds his spot finally. Wow, 3? Really? There we go. All right, so the next is going to be the water. So this is the spooky part. Hopefully we can not drown here and make it through this part.
Okay.
So
and you
again,
have bombs?
Yeah, I got the water bombs. I have backup bombs. I just don't have the Zora armor, so I got to be careful with my water meter. And if I do drown, it's not the end of the world because we'll just end up at the spot. But it'd be nice if I didn't. Oh, wow. Wow, I actually am going to drown. No. Yeah, I have to drown here. I'm just going to start from this part.
Okay.
Ugh.
It's okay.
Yeah. This is like one of the, because it's at the end, so it's one of the spookiest parts of the run for sure. Like that would have ended my PB 100%, but luckily we are not going for that.
Right, that's not what this is about. Shows you like kind of the luck of RNG here.
Yeah. Might have to do this a couple times because this is a different setup. This is a little spooky. I might be able to get this. Okay, good. Thankfully, we got that. Okay, so now we're looking good. I have one more little section here that I have to make sure I hit. So I get one more air refill in a second. Get him. Nice. Okay.
Awesome.
Nice. Okay. Out of that, thankfully. That's tough because that second part, you don't know where he's going to spawn if you don't get him the first try there. So I'm glad that we were able to do that. So then I can use the ball and chain here to speed this one up. If he finds a spot here. Nice, got him. So then, so then this next phase, this is the only reason why we get the ball and chain in this run. There is no way to beat this phase unless you have the ball and chain.
Right.
There's one. Okay, cool. And then we are on the last phase now. So this one is just going to be some well-timed like sword swings I have to do to be able to get them.
Yeah, because now you're actually back at Hyrule. Yeah. Or I mean, it's the warp. But...
There we go. Nah, missed him there. Missed him there again. I have to hit him with like the thrust part of it. Ah, missed him again. Ah.
How many hits does he take?
He takes three of those, so he's got one more.
Okay.
Okay, this should get him. Nice, he's done. Okay.
Nice.
Cool. Now it is off to Hyrule Castle, and that's the last thing we're doing.
Yeah, see, he just kind of acts like a baby in this fight.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He's like shrieking and all that. I'm gonna skip this heart container too.
He really seems stomping like he's throwing a temper tantrum. It's
Yeah.
not very scary.
Okay. So we actually get a little cutscene coming up here. We can just chill. It's like a minute or something.
Gotcha. Right. So how much farther do you want to push your any percent time until you decide that you want to learn 100%?
I always say that I just want to be having fun, you know? Like
Right.
if I get to a point where I'm like, man, this really is just too tough, then I'll just be done. Like I don't even really have a goal time. I'd like to get sub 3 hours though, because there's not a whole lot of people that have done that. But yeah, I'm just taking it, you know, day by day.
Yeah.
Because I've been enjoying the ride so far. Okay, so we're gonna equip this. We're actually gonna do a little postman skip here if I can nail this. Nice, got it. Okay.
Awesome.
So that skips the postman coming up and yelling at you.
That would have been the only time you had to do that on the bridge, right?
Right. Yep.
Cool.
All right, so there's a funny little bonk here that we're gonna hopefully get. Nice, got it. And now we get our cutscene with Squidna, as we call her.
Girl's doing some work.
It's pretty terrifying, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's scarier in that form than Zant
Yeah.
at all.
All right, and this is unskippable. They're proud of this cutscene, I guess, so we can't skip it.
I mean, it's a cool thing to watch, but, you know, when you speedrun this all the time.
Yeah. I mean, at least gives, you know, like a break just to relax for a minute. But
Yeah.
So basically, all I'm going to be doing in Hyrule Castle is I have to get the key to get in, and then I can do just some fast movement to get to the top. I don't have to do everything. And then we are going to fight Ganon.
What's the biggest skip we're going to encounter? Do you think?
The biggest skip is probably going to be so when you enter here, there's like 2 fights. Like you'll run into an area and then there's like a ring that pops up and you have to fight all the enemies to move on.
Oh yeah.
But the second one, you can actually skip it if you roll out of it fast enough. So we'll see if we nail that one.
Okay.
I don't even know how to do that fight because of the skip. So hopefully we get that one. All right, let's go.
Funny how many casual things you're just like, I don't know how to do this. 'Cause you just never
just
do
so
it for
much.
so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a pretty big game, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this first ring of enemies is going to be probably the most difficult little section. I hope I don't die here. If I do, I'll start at the beginning of this area, but this is a little rough. So you press Y and you press Y again, and you sit here and just wait. Done.
Oh.
Nice. Okay.
Wow, that was easy.
A little tricky, I guess. So this is the next ring of enemies that we're going to be able to roll out of here.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. Then you're just going to go right past it. Yep. You just have to cancel out of the cutscene fast so you don't walk into the center, and then you just run right past these guys. And
so most of the thing you have to do to make sure you have the ability to do that is canceling out of that cutscene.
Yeah, you just have to cancel that out as fast as possible.
Gotcha.
Then we're meeting up with Shrek one last time here. Oops. This guy is pretty beefy. Like if he hits you, it's a lot of damage. So like this. You know, swing. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That was pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
So then we get the keys to his swamp.
He just becomes like non-aggro. You don't even beat him.
Yeah. And then he like talks to you here. Minna's like, wow, he actually talked. Amazing.
Uh-huh.
So now we're going in the castle, and then we are almost done.
Mm-hmm. This has been really cool to see.
Yeah, I thought this would be kind of cool to show just because it's way less busted than Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see like this side of it. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Still has its own skips that have the circle's still there.
Yeah, no, it's still there. They're still walking around the circle, trying to find where I'm at. Okay. I'll grab some health if there's any, and then we will head on in. So the first trick I'm going to do here is another one of these circle skips. I'm going to be mashing start so that my jump slash doesn't make it all the way into this. So I'm going to go at an angle here and just mash start. Now I'm outside of it. I can run right past it.
Wow.
Yep. I'm going to head on into the Dark Nut fight over here.
Oh, so you just skip the candles completely as well.
Yeah. You can just skip all that. And this guy is a lot... He looks tougher than he is.
I didn't realize you could just run behind him like that.
Yeah, you just have to hit him from the front and then just run behind him and start slashing him like that.
Oh. Oh, and you do that every time.
Yep. You can use the ball and chain here, but it's a kind of a tight window, so I haven't been doing that. But yeah, he's dead. And that's it. And then I think this is a purple rupee. This is kind of dramatic to just give us one purple rupee after that.
I agree, especially when you're like at the end of the
thing now.
End of the game. Yeah.
All right.
Right, this is like a little baby puzzle.
Yeah, I don't know how to figure this out regularly. I just know.
You shoot the painting down right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You shoot the painting off the wall. I believe it's got a little diagram behind it.
Oh, that's cool. Wow. I don't think I ever figured that out because I would just blindly do the lantern. I eventually got it. So.
Enter a casual player.
Yeah. So then these guys die from the bomb.
Oh, wow. Did you just
hit.
purposely take that damage?
Yeah, because like you put the bomb down and then throw the boomerang and it kills them both just from doing that.
Nice.
All right, and then we are about to get the boss key and then head on up to Ganon. Whoops.
Seems like a lot of people tried to brute force those torches as well.
Yeah, these enemies are just so hard to predict what they're gonna do. Like this.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I dodged that. There we go. Okay. I just want to get him in the air because you can. There we go. Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's got like an opening when you get him back down.
All right, get the small key, and then we're gonna go get the boss key and head on up. Ooh, we got the 3 hearts here. Of course, the 3 hearts drop when I have almost full health. I wish I would have that in a run with the low health here.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we get a cutscene here. And all your pals are showing up here. All the pals that helped us through this run, right?
Yeah.
Because we definitely saw all these guys showing up.
Yep. I remember when we talked to them. And hey, there's that one guy you had to talk to.
Yep.
You did have to talk to one. Pretty great.
Also, I love that one of these guys has a, just casually has a rocket launcher. There, like right there.
Also, where was that before? Hello?
Yeah, no idea.
In the next Zelda game, Link gets a rocket launcher.
Okay. Boss key.
Are there any other skips we're going to be seeing before we get to Ganon, or are we just going?
Yes, there is one other skip that I'll be doing right at the top. We're going to skip the last of the Dark Knight fight at the top.
Okay. I'm curious how this is going to go.
So normally you can be wolf here, but if you're fast and don't... There we go. You can just roll right over.
Nice. Wow.
Nice. So this is another use for claw shot right here. Because you can't get up these stairs unless you have this.
Oh. For the double, yeah.
All right. Then this is just another use for the spinner right here that we need. I'm pretty sure you can pass through this without spinner. I just don't know how to do it.
I feel like it's faster with it anyway.
Yeah. So right here is the dark nut thing. So we go to a spot on the ground. You can aim at this.
How do we do this?
And it just starts the cutscene, and then you're on the other side. Yeah, so you can totally skip that.
So fast. Do you have a specific spot you stand in the distance to?
Not really. I mean, it's kind of lenient with that spot.
Cool.
But... All right, so I'm going to equip the iron boots. I bet people in chat know what that means. So just type 1 if you know what equipping iron boots means here. All right, so first is going to be Puppet Zelda.
Yeah.
So the least amount of cycles for this is going to be 7. So we can count up from that too. 7 is
the least amount is 7?
The least amount is 7. That's the best outcome I can get for this.
Okay. Oh,
Nice,
your chat knows.
All right, there's 1.
They know.
All right, there's 2. So this attack is super laggy, so you kind of just have to look away from it to reduce the lag.
Gotcha.
No. Oh, I don't think we're going to get 7. I'm pretty sure you have to get 1, 3, and 7 have to be the energy ball. So I think it's going to be more.
Okay.
I could be wrong, though. So this is 4, I think, right?
Yes. Yeah, that would be 4.
Nice. This attack is faster than that triangle attack. That's 5. 6. Then maybe 7.
So it's 3 of the light balls?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see.
Ah, nope. Little unlucky. I think I got 10 here in my PB, though. It's pretty unlucky.
Okay.
I don't know if it's an unlimited amount or what, but... All right, so that was, what, 8? That wasn't too
8.
bad. All right, next is Beast Ganon. This is probably the hardest of the 4 of these fights here. I'm going to have to hit him with the ball and chain right when the fight starts. Nice, got him. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So now I can do a jump attack. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he's always going to spawn in this corner after that first part. Let's get ready over here. And I look down here just because it's laggy if I look up. Okay, cool. And then he always ends up in this spot. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he's got one more hit with Wolf, and then we're on to the last 2 parts. Also, final boss music, 10 out of 10. Oh, I missed him. It's kind of hard to predict where he's coming from here. Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay, this should work. There we go.
Nice.
So just run up and hit him once and he's dead. All right. So now I just need 3 shots in a row from Zelda. And then we'll be good for the last fight pretty much.
That'll be it, yeah. It's been a good run. Overall, you've done a great job.
Yeah, I think this has gone pretty well, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially
sure.
with that, like, first couple tricks that I was doing. Those were usually pretty hard to pull off. So I'm glad that went well. So.
Oh, yeah. You're
Here we
supposed to do other sword or horse-based
Nice.
fights and things.
So we got one hit. Let's see if Zelda has good aim tonight. Get all 3 hits. Nice, it's 2. Nice.
Oh, wow.
Done. Okay. So this last fight is so epic casually, but it's kind of short in the speedrun. It's kind of funny.
Right. And I believe the fishing rod works for this as well.
Yeah,
right?
it does. I've never done it myself, but it does work.
I
apparently.
have.
Oh, really? That's funny.
It's hilarious.
Oh my
It
God.
makes it so easy. It like, yeah, just like you would assume in like a speed run, it also very much trivializes the fight.
Yeah. It's like kind of anticlimactic sort of thing.
Uh-huh. You toss it and he's like, oh, what's that? And then you just start hitting him with your sword.
So the iron boots are important for this fight. I'm going to equip them right before the last hit, and we'll see in the last cutscene after this why it's important. All right. Thank you for coming out, everybody. This has been a fun time.
Absolutely.
So we're going to run up here. Then he does a little kick. It's pretty funny. Run behind him again. We'll try to kick you again. Oh, I messed it up. Whoops. What?
Oh.
There we go. So iron boots and time.
Nice.
There it is.
That was awesome.
Twilight Princess. Man, that's such a relief. I was hoping that would go well, and I'm happy that it went well.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a ton of people joining in for this. So glad you all have been here. Hope you did a great job. Thank you so much for explaining all this to us, breaking it down. And I'm really glad we got to see the difference between Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess.
It's so different, but I'm glad I got to showcase both of them. Hopefully, you guys found this entertaining, and you can maybe use this for learning speedruns yourself. Because both these communities definitely deserve more speedrunners. So if you guys are interested, then definitely join the Discords for both communities and all that. And yeah, so.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll do a quick wrap up here. So then, Pope, let's real quick just let us know like where to find you on Twitch, Twitter, anything like that. If you've
so you can find me at just twitch.tv/popesquidward. POPE and then just Squidward. And then Twitter is the same, just Pope Squidward. And yeah, I mean, I'd say that's probably, and YouTube too. YouTube is also Pope Squidward. So yeah.
That's good. It makes it really easy to find.
Yeah. So
so I'm guessing this is the main thing that you've been working on lately on your stream, right?
Yeah. So I stream about 6 days a week. I take Saturdays off typically, but yeah, I've been streaming this category lately. So my history is that I have, done a lot of Majora's Mask. The past 4 years I've been doing Majora's Mask. I have second place and I think 4 categories for that now, and first place in 1. So I'm kind of just taking a little break and doing this for now. And
nice.
It's been fun. So met lots of great Twilight Princess community members, and yeah, shout outs to Swift Ike for teaching me this entire run. He spent so much time helping me with this, and I'm very grateful for that. So yeah.
That's awesome. Also, what time do you usually stream, just for anybody who's curious?
I usually stream, I start about 6 p.m. Eastern time, and I'll end right around now, I'd say midnight, maybe 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, here's the iron boots, by the way.
Oh.
That's why everybody likes the iron boots. But
makes it so much harder for him to run.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, thank you very much for having me on. This has been very, very fun experience. So
agreed. Plus, now we get a moment to see Midna and all of her.
Midna, yep.
Her true glory. Mm-hmm. So nice. Midna's great. She's the best. So just wrapping up again. This is our second ever episode of That's Never Happened Before. This is a once a month show, one Saturday a month. I will let you all know the next episode coming up. I can't remember the exact date for February off the top of my head. Nope, I can't remember. But keep in mind it's 7 p.m. one Saturday a month. And yeah, more glitches are upcoming. Don't forget that, you know, all of your subs and bits and gift subs and all of that will still count toward the Prevent Cancer Foundation through the end of the month. And, you know, anybody watching on YouTube, feel free to check us out live at twitch.tv/GDQ. Or those who are watching live, feel free to check out other hotfix shows that have aired in the past or other GDQ main events at youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. Also, on Tuesday, we have another amazing hotfix show. It's called Time Capsule. That will also be at 7 p.m. Eastern. So definitely check it out at its new time slot. And I don't think if there's anything else I want to throw in. Anything else you want to say before we head out for the evening?
Not really. I mean, I think I got it all covered. So just thanks for coming out, everybody. I'm glad to have so many people come out tonight and just, you know, watch how these runs unfold. I'm glad that we're getting exposure on these speedruns because they definitely need more community members. So thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all know that Majora's Mask is a huge run with a really big community, but Twilight Princess I know is like a little bit less so, even for a Zelda game. So really cool to kind of get that out there. Feel free to check these games out. Like, try speedrunning them for yourself, you know? The communities are great. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks again for being a guest on the show. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You did an awesome job. Yeah. And I guess we'll see you all next time. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, everybody. Check out the other GDQ hotfix shows. Go, please watch popesquidward stream. Please make sure you've given him a follow on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all of that. Like, go watch him. He's awesome, super chill. You can tell from this show this evening. And I'm Kung Fu Fruit Cup, and we will see you all next time. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.